And welcome to Cox Mill High School for the second part of this doubleheader. We have the visiting Kingsmen Baseball Club against the home Lake Norman Copperheads. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Zane Mess. Next to me is David Katz on the call tonight. And on the mound is the strikeout king so far for the Copperheads, Phoenix DeGiacomo. The Patrick Henry Community College product has been dominant on the hill so far this season. 12.2 innings pitched with a 1.42 ERA, 27 strikeouts, and 2 wins on the year. He's third in the SCBL in strikeouts and fifth in ERA. And him, just like his pitching counterpart who pitched earlier in the day, Anthony Casiola, have been great this season. And he'll try to keep his ERA under 2 like it is right now. His first pitch of the day will be low and inside for a ball. Blocking it up today behind the plate for the Copperheads is catcher Andrew Schultz. Schultz, the product of Campbell University. Schultz played his high school ball at Huff High School as well, the normal home of the Copperheads, but moved over here this season due to renovating the baseball facilities. And that'll be the first hit of the day for the Kingsmen as that one drops down. And fielding that baseball is the right fielder for the Copperheads, Ivan Zambrino. And Cam McNearney will get a good start off on the day. He batted leadoff in the first game, and he starts it off good, batting leadoff in the second game as well.
Yeah, 2 for 2 in his last 2 at-bats as he ended last game with a double.
So now Anthony Mitta steps up to the plate for the Kingsmen. And that one is inside and low for a ball, 1-0. A beautiful night here at Cox Mill High School, cooling down. The start of the game one was very toasty, but now it's a little cooler as that one goes low and the count moves to 2-0. Holding on McNearney is Jackson Taylor. Taylor sent that one a home run over the left center field wall in the first game as Giacomo will fire that one back to Taylor. But McNearney gets under the tag safely. And if you want to watch back that home run or the Kyle Whitaker home run or any moment in that first game of the doubleheader, go back on the SCBL YouTube channel and check out those highlights. We might also have some highlights up on the SCBL Instagram later tonight. As Giacomo gets a strike on the board, and now the count runs to 2-1. The start time here for the second game about 8:30. So later than we expected, but we're not complaining. We still get 7 more innings of baseball here tonight. That one is low, and Giacomo a little bit of control issues early. Just putting some, getting that rosin bag and putting it on his forearm to get a little more grip here. As he gets the sign from Schultz. Here comes 3-1 pitch. Runner going. McNearney will be in there safely because it was ball 4. Schultz could have had him if that was a strike, but no need to fire it down there as Anthony Mitta will take his base on balls. And now Burt Camper, the leader in average home runs and RBIs in the SCBL, will step up to the plate. He had a cold first game in this doubleheader. He struck out the first 2 times he came up, then had a single. So, coming off a little bit of a high. But still 1 for 3. A guy that's hitting .417. Obviously, you don't expect 1 for 3. But here in a big situation early on in the game, getting stretched out a little bit before his first at-bat.
And I do not expect him to stay as cold as he was. I expect him to heat up, and I feel like he's going to play a really big part in this game as that ball gets away from Schultz. Both runners will advance to second and third respectively. So now the leading run standing 90 feet away with no outs, and the Copperheads are already in a bit of a pinch here in the top of the first.
Yeah, to Giacomo, this is uncharacteristic like he has been playing all season. We'll see if he can get, just 1 strikeout under his belt, 1 out under his belt, and continue into this outing. As it's 1 ball, no strikes after that one got by Schultz. The 1-0 pitch from DeGiacomo. That one will be in the dirt for ball 2. Blocking it up, Schultz. trying to keep a runner from scoring. That being McNerney at third base and Anthony Midd at second. Schultz part of that Campbell run into the regional against Tennessee, almost knocking them off. The Big South champs couldn't do it, though. 2-0 pitch. That one will be low and inside for ball 3. And it'll be an interesting situation here for DeGiacomo. You don't want to throw, you don't want to lob one in there for Burt Camper because he leads the SCBL in RBIs and home runs, but you also don't want to walk the man, so you have to be very cautious right here.
A walk trying to place is better than a ball left over the inside of the plate, making it 3-0, and that's what happened there. Just overturn that fastball a little bit, trying to catch a bottom part of the zone, and Camper is now loaded up as Andrew Stevens will head out and have a word with DeGiacomo.
Yeah, Minister Sean Stevens will have a little word with him. Pitching depth, they only had to use 2 pitchers in the first game of this doubleheader. You had Anthony Cassiola with a great start, went 5 innings. Then Lewis finished off the game with 2, coming in with the save. As we'll have Anthony Cassiola later on in the broadcast. Excited to hear from him and what went through his mind in those 5 scoreless innings. And a little more questions. If you have questions for Anthony Cassiola now or when he gets on the air, make sure to leave those in chat so we can ask him.
Leave a comment now so we can get to yours first when he comes on here later. I know there's only a few people on at the moment, but as we get some more viewership, we'll mention it again. But if you've got any questions for Anthony Cassiola, whether it's professional or just for fun, if you want to ask him what his favorite food is, go for it.
Yeah.
So if any questions you've got for him or any questions you've got for us, please drop in the chat. We'd also love to hear if anybody is watching from out of town or if anybody's watching from far away. We'd love to hear where everyone is from and how you're tuning into this game as DeGiacomo finds himself a strike there to start the at-bat against the extra hitter Daniel Reeves, 0-1.
And that's just what DeGiacomo needed right there. He walked the last 2 batters right there, getting some control back. He's needing a strike to start off the at-bat. And that fastball just misses the outside part of the plate. The count will run even, 1-1. So DeGiacomo will get the sign from Schultz. 1-1 pitch, that is fouled off behind the screen. And the count will go to 1-2. Now, this is your Copperheads lineup for tonight in the outfield. This is defense behind DeGiacomo in the outfield. We have Maseda, Dawson, and Zambrino. And then in the infield, Whitaker, Tanner, Will, and Taylor. And, of course, Schultz blocking it up behind the plate. And that one will be high, and the count will go to 2-2. That Copperheads defense was so pivotal in that first game, allowing the pitching staff allowing no runs, but also the defense behind him doing very well and no errors. Giacomo just 1 strike away from getting his first out of the inning. That one is bounced down the right side of the field, and that one will go foul.
Big spot here, 2-2 count.
Yeah. So base is still loaded. The count stays at 2-2. And that one outside, so the count runs full, and a massive pitch here for DeGiacomo to start off his night.
Got to collect this back here. You had him 1-2, especially with the dangerous hitter Sawyer Reeves in the cleanup spot. Got to find the location on the fastball right here.
That one a big swing and a miss, and DeGiacomo adds to a strikeout tally on the air. That one is number 28 on the season, and a much-needed strikeout. And that'll go for the first out of the inning. So down goes 1, but the Kingsmen still have 2 lives left in this inning.
The third baseman, Sawyer Reeves, will now step in for the Kingsmen.
The 2 Reeves brothers batting back-to-back here, 4 and 5. As Giacomo will fire once, another strike in there. I was looking at the guys that maybe the Copperheads have available in the second game of the doubleheader. Just for your to remind you guys, Anthony Cassiola and Thad Lewis pitched earlier tonight, so they will be unavailable. As that one is lined to the shortstop. Will they turn 2? No, they will just get 1. So the Kingsmen score their first run of the ball game as Cam McNerney comes across the plate. Number 1 gets the first run of the inning. So Sawyer Reeves will walk away with an RBI. And Aiden Rice here with 2 runners in scoring position to add to their tally.
The Kingsmen with their first run on the entire night, and it comes early here as they pick up where they left off in the top of the 7th with the scoring. Finally able to get one through as they left runners on base every single inning in the previous game.
Yeah. And now looking at this Copperheads roster for who might be available tonight, Ian Askin is a guy that we know that is probably going to be available. He could close out this ball game. Ari Gordon could also be available. David Miller-Madden, not that many innings pitched so far, 3.2 innings pitched only so far this year. So these are a couple guys to look out for. As Giacomo fires another ball in there, the count goes to 2-0. 2-0 count, 2 outs of the inning. Kingsmen up 1-0. That one is inside, and a great job by Schultz getting over to that baseball, preventing a run. Aiden Rice had to jump out of the way of that one. So Rice with a very favorable hitter's count, 3-0. And that one will be a strike from Giacomo, and he's trying to claw his way back into this count.
You do have an open base, but obviously don't want to have to put him there with Luke Jenkins, the first baseman, standing on deck.
And it looks like he will walk Aiden Rice. So the UNC Greensboro product, Luke Jenkins, will step into the box. We've seen a very exaggerated shift so far tonight for Luke Jenkins, the 6'3" first baseman. But it looks like they're lined up very normal, as you expect, with bases loaded.
Infield going to play a little more in, trying to get that force out at home if possible, but a force out anywhere ends the inning.
And Giacomo, that one just a little bit high. It'll be interesting to see how both these teams utilize their pitching so far tonight. Kingsmen used 3 pitchers already today, Copperheads with 2. So we'll see what arms it's going to be situational, as I talked to manager Sean Stevens before the first game, and he said, the guys that I'm going to bring in tonight are really just situational for up big, down big, and it's going to depend on the score and what we're looking like here. It definitely helps if you're the Copperheads. Winning that first game, you don't feel so much of a burden to have to win the second game. You can maybe throw a position player out there if you're up or down by a certain amount.
Yeah, but at the same time, you really, really want to get this win if you're the Copperheads, maybe even more so than the Kingsmen here, because that two-run cushion, especially going into the break here in the standings, is absolutely massive for the Copperheads if they're able to get that. As Ian Askin will head out and do a little mound recovery here. As we did already have one game today, so making sure the mound is all set for DiGiacomo, as there looked to be something he didn't like.
Yeah, we did hear that they were feeling a little bit of sand on that mound. That's what's going to come with the mound having to be used. It's going to be used 23 innings of baseball in about 24-hour time span by the end of this game tonight. And we just saw Ian Askin maybe doing a little housekeeping there on the mound and helping out his other pitcher on the Copperheads. And you never want any injuries with a bad mound. A pitcher stepping in with their lead foot and twisting their ankle or something like that, especially with. In the summer, we're here, that could just be ending your summer, and you never want that.
Not at all, especially as something as dumb as that.
Yeah. That one will be inside, and the count will run to 2-2. So Giacomo just one strike away from getting out of this inning, pretty much unfazed with only 1 run. There's a good block by Schultz right there. As it looked like it was going to be a very bad start for Giacomo, but if he gets the strikeout right here, or just an out in general, that changes the whole aspect of this game. So a very big pitch early on in this game. Here comes the full count pitch. Oh, and just a near miss from Giacomo, as he thought he had that one, but the umpire says otherwise. And now will walk in a run for the Kingsmen. Coming in is Anthony Mita, so the first 2 guys leading off this ball game for the Kingsmen will score. And Giacomo so close from getting out Luke Jenkins and getting out of this inning somewhat unfazed, you would say, only allowing 1 run. But now he'll have to deal with Lane McLevin. As it's pretty much an unchanged Kingsman lineup from the first to second game.
McLevin had a fantastic diving catch in the first game that solidified or the stoppage of a few runs for the Copperheads. Obviously, in the end, it didn't matter as they took the first game 8-0. However, still something to note. Very good defensive effort.
Copperheads with a very different lineup. Some guys sticking in there as we see that one is popped up sky high and out of play. As that one goes into the old football field, it looks like over there. That's been repurposed to the batting cage area.
Actually got some – Cox Mill had some old turf put down over there that when Mallard Creek stripped up their old field and had it repurposed over here to put some stuff on the ground for these guys. That way it was a little bit nicer walking around.
Yeah. A lot better to have, when you're just walking around or laying down, stretching out, instead of being on the pavement, being on the nice turf over there. Two-one count, 2 outs in the inning. That one fouled off from the screen, and the count run even 2-2. And we're like I was saying earlier, is the Kingsman lineup is very kind of unchanged, but when you look at the Copperheads lineup, only a couple guys stand there that really stood out to people in the first game. You obviously have Kyle Whitaker, who's hit back-to-back bombs in back-to-back games, and you have Taylor, who hit that home run as well. So the guys that really performed in the first game get a chance to show their worth in the second game as well. As that one is a swing and a miss, and as Giacomo gets his second K of the night, but not after the Kingsmen put up 2 runs. We'll be back here at Cox Mill High School for the bottom of the first inning. Stay with us. Kingsmen up 2-0.
Welcome back to Cox Mill High School as we get things set for the bottom of the first inning as the Copperheads have the center fielder Kyrus Dawson leading things off here.
Yeah, Kyrus Dawson, a very exciting player for the Lake Norman Copperheads, but coming into starting off the night for the Kingsmen is Ryan Rouse, the UNCG product, 6'6", 180, out of Morehead City, North Carolina. And we'll see what he can do tonight for the Kingsmen.
First pitch we see from him is a fastball that catches the bottom part of the zone, so Dawson quickly down 0-1.
I'm excited to see how this new look Copperheads lineup turns out here. See what kind of production they can put up in the second game.
Kyrus Dawson, Andrew Schultz, Ivan Zambrano, Connor Pfizer, and Zach Will, all new faces in the starting lineup for this Copperheads team as back-to-back fastballs go for strikes. Count now runs 0-2.
Ryan Rouse, not too much action this last season in the Southern Conference. 4.2 innings pitched with a 7.71 ERA. But up in the count 0-2 here.
That one fouled off the screen. So fighting to stay alive here is Dawson in his first at-bat of the night.
Ryan Rouse, not too much SCBO action so far this year. Only 2 innings pitched, allowed 0 hits in those 2 innings pitched with a 0 ERA. That come with a 7-2 win over the Athletics on June 21st.
The 0-2 from Rouse. Breaking pitch slid a little too far outside of the zone. That'll be the first ball issued tonight for him, and the count now moves to 1-2. Rouse facing home plate now. He'll kick and deliver from the belt. Swing and a miss. Dawson sat down on strikes. And Rouse collects his first out via this strikeout, which brings up the left fielder, Christian Maceda.
Christian Maceda, one of those guys that carry over from the first game to the second game. How did he do in the first game?
Christian Maceda had an RBI single, a walk, and a flyout in the first game. So Maceda looking to continue his on-base streak here, as that flyout came in his first at-bat, and the next 2 he was able to get on. First pitch he sees goes for a ball, so Rouse delivers his second ball of the night. Count now sitting at 1-0. Maceda with that bat on his back shoulder fouls that one over the screen.
Ooh. Right into the lights.
As it lands over near the batting cages, as some young kid will go run and collect that one for us.
Or 2 young college kids.
Oh, look at that. A little race between, it looks like Astudillo and Thad Lewis. Back to the action over here, the 1-1 pitch. Another foul ball off the screen. So Rouse is ahead of these guys right now, as he is ahead of the count now, 1-2. They have not been able to catch up to his fastball yet, and we'll see what their approach is now heading into the 2-strike count.
Yeah, one of the things that stands out early and often for Rouse is just that high-velocity fastball, and then he can slow it down with his off-speed stuff, as we've seen so far tonight.
The 1-2 from Ryan. Ball put into play. Fair ball fielded by the third baseman. Long throw after a bobble. And still going to be out at first base. It was a long throw for Sawyer Reeves, who has shifted over to third base for this game. But Reeves was able to collect himself and fire down to first just in time, as Christian Maceda becomes the second out in the inning.
Yeah, great throw there by Reeves. Just didn't control it all the way the first time. Bobbled a little bit, then just fired across the infield and just in time to get ahead of Maceda.
The first baseman, Jackson Taylor, digs in from the left side for the Copperheads, as he is another familiar face. He batted third in the previous game, sits batting third here now as he watches a fastball go by outside of the zone.
And you can see why he's batting third again after that home run. That was an absolute towering shot, and that really just broke up the game for the Copperheads and extended their lead even more.
Well, his night got better and better as he went strikeout, single, home run.
Yeah.
So that first game, the 3-run homer to kind of solidify the 8-0 victory as he swings at a high fastball, as that'll be a foul tip called for a strike. Count now 1-1 for the first baseman. Rouse sets with his body pointed towards home for working from the belt. Nice two-seamer that had a lot of movement on it, as Taylor kind of had to step out of the way of it. Thought it was going to kind of run in on him, but instead it curves back over the plate. And so the righty on the mound has himself a lead in the count, 1-2.
And we can throw that hard fastball cutting in on a lefty. That's very dangerous to do. Break some wooden bats over there.
And looking for a called strike 3, won't get it. Camper had a nice frame on it, however, a little bit too low and outside of the zone, so the count evens up at 2-2.
Yeah, talk about broken bats. We had one in the first game. We saw some kids playing with the bat they got over there on the side.
Taylor looking to become the first base runner for the Copperheads. Umpire going to call time here. Taylor recollect himself. Now he'll dig back into the box. He'll touch both sides of home plate before readying. As now Rouse looks ready to go. Gives a nod to the first sign he sees, and now the 2-2 delivery is high and inside. Taylor having to back out of the box. So the count now runs full. We had a long first game, and this one getting started a bit later, and this first inning already taken a good bit of time, but we are all here for it. A lot of baseball left to play, and it should be a great night no matter how long the game takes. The 3-2 is a foul ball off the screen, and this has been a fantastic at-bat from Taylor. Rouse has been throwing the best stuff that he has, but Taylor has not been fooled, and he's been able to stay alive, working the count to full now.
Yeah, Taylor just keeps fighting stuff off, waiting for a good pitch to hit, and eventually he's going to get one, you have to think.
Shakes off the first two, now gives an on to the third. He'll throw home to Burt Camper, and that's a ball inside. A fantastic at-bat for Jackson Taylor to draw the walk, which brings up the ever-so-dangerous Andrew Schultz, who's batting .500 on the year for the Copperheads.
Yeah, just a great job by Taylor there, right there, fighting off pitches, gets on base, and now you have Schultz, who's batting .500 on the year, already 4 RBIs, and coming off a 2-hit game. So you gave your hole hitter up. You know, some people say your 4-hole hitter is obviously the best hitter in the lineup, not always, but in this situation, batting .500, you give a guy that's red hot a chance to show his worth.
And that long at-bat that had to have been at least 8 pitches between Taylor and Rouse gives the guys who were standing on deck and in the dugout a little better of an idea on what his pitches look like. So Rouse gives the nod, and the first pitch that Schultz sees is a quick fly out to the second baseman, Anthony Midda. That retires the side for the Copperheads as the Kingsmen retain their 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the second to see if the Kingsmen can extend on it here at Cox Mill High School.
And welcome back. Here is Justin Stewart. Will start the top of the second inning. Phoenix Giacomo back on the rubber for his second inning of work. Allowed 2 in the first. As up to bat this inning is Justin Stewart in the 9-hole, Zach Stoffel in the 10-hole, and then Cam McNerney will start back up the beginning of lineup once again. We saw Zach Stoffel pitch last game, and now we see him in the DH spot. Stoffel lined that double down the right field line, so giving him another chance to put the bat in his hands.
Yeah, the man standing on deck had a single and a double in his 2 appearances after coming off the mound. So might as well keep him in if he's seeing well.
Giacomo, that one almost at the shoelaces of Justin Stewart for a ball, 3-1.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Zach Stoffel in the 10-hole. So the Kingsmen electing to use the extra hitter that is used in the Southern Collegiate Baseball League here. The Copperheads opting not to use it as there's a 5-pitch walk from DiGiacomo, and his location still a little bit amiss here, hoping that he can bring that back, find his spots.
And you have to expect it doing, sooner than later. A guy that has such a good ERA, good strikeout rate. He's a great pitcher. He's obviously showed that this season. And it's just a matter of time till he gets his control under control.
Absolutely. How many starts has he had this year? Do you know?
Yeah, based off his how many innings pitched he has, so 12.2, I'm guessing probably 2 starts. This is his 3rd start of the season.
Because I know we saw him come in relief when he played for the Kingsmen here, so I wonder if coming out of the bullpen more than actually getting a start here is a little bit rattling here for DiGiacomo.
Yeah, but we've also seen DiGiacomo strive in the pitcher spot because in that doubleheader last weekend against the A's, he came in, started the game, had 13 strikeouts that night. He's absolutely dominant, and that added to his tally that sits at 29 right now.
Stoffel showing bunt, and that's going to be a called strike, so the count now moves to 1-2.
And that's just so impressive, a guy that's pitched 13 2/3 inning with 29 strikeouts. That's from striking out 2 guys an inning.
Oh, absolutely. Looking to keep that strikeout rate up. Struck 2 out in the first inning, and that one gets away from Schultz. He doesn't know where it goes. It bounces all the way off the screen and charging for third and going to be out or safe. Wow. It looked like the ball was there in plenty of time to get out Justin Stewart. However, the tag must not have been applied by Kyle Whitaker. It looked like, obviously, we don't have a good enough advantage here. The ball was definitely there in time, but the tag must have not been applied. So advancing all the way to third, from first to third on the passed ball is Justin Stewart, but Zach Stoffel is sat down on strikes. So the 3rd strikeout for DiGiacomo.
What a chaotic 2 pitches right there. That ball that went past Schultz, he was looking for it, and the umpire was just kind of standing in his way. Didn't get out of the way. He was still looking for it at the backstop, and then Norton gets in there safely at 3rd, and then just 1 pitch later, we have a strikeout looking. So then Cam McNerney will step back in for his 2nd at-bat of the game. First time up, poked that single into right field. That one was low and in the dirt. So Phoenix and Giacomo having to deal with 1 runner on third base. That one low and inside once again for a ball. Down in the count 2-0. Excuse me, 3-0. So 3-0 count, 1 out in the inning. Kingsmen still up 2-0. That one is low and in the dirt. And McNerney will gladly take his base. And now up Anthony Mitta. Mitta last time up had a base on balls. And we see Andrew Schultz having a talk with his pitcher. As we do see someone head out to the Copperheads bullpen. But it was number 11, Wilson Loher, so I doubt he'll be pitching tonight.
I'd be surprised if there's a lot of activity going on at the current moment in the bullpen for the Copperheads. I feel like you got to have faith in in your man on the mound, Phoenix, especially because we're only top second here, and with such shorthanded pitching, you got to hope that he's able to last at least a good few innings. And I think he will. He's just got to find his location at the moment because it's very uncharacteristic of him to be missing in the spots that he's missing, especially with how far it's been off the plate.
Yeah, and what manager Sean Stevens told me is that we have this, the big showcase coming up Monday and Tuesday. He doesn't want to waste arms that are not needed so these guys can get looks at from scouts and colleges at that showcase in Lynchburg, Virginia this upcoming weekend.
That ball missed just off the top of the zone, and it didn't miss by too much.
Yeah.
As that starts the at-bat to Anthony Mitta, 1-0.
So does Giacomo having to deal with runners on the corners. Still only one out in the inning. That one blocked up in the dirt by Schultz. Good job there. The speedy McNearney at first playing center field tonight. We'll see if he elects to use his legs. But first baseman Jackson Taylor is holding him on. McNearney will go. Schultz will fire down in there. He will be safe. As the ball on the tag couldn't get there in time, Jake Tanner tried to apply the tag, but good job by Cam McNearney getting down there safely, and he really shut off the wheels there. That was a great throw by Schultz, but just not in time.
Yeah, throw was just a little bit too far outside for Schultz. It was a really hard play for Jake Tanner to have to kind of torque his body back behind him to try to make the tag and wasn't able to do so. So now a base hit, theoretically, to a certain part of the ballpark scores 2 here. And that's going to be a called strike on the outside, and the count now moves to 3-1. Mitta thought he had himself ball 4. However, just caught a piece of the zone. So now DiGiacomo fires the 3-1, and that one's going to be low for ball 4. So the base is once again loaded for the Kingsmen as they are looking to extend this 2-0 lead with only 1 away in the top of the second.
And coming up for the Kingsmen in this big bases-loaded situation is Burt Camper, as we do see manager Sean Stevens come out to talk to his pitcher for the second time tonight. This is in a big situation against a big hitter right here, as the whole infield will want to listen to what words their man in charge has to say.
This is definitely not only a meeting to see if they can get Phoenix a little more out of his head, but it's also a meeting to make sure that everybody understands what the situation is, what they need to do, where the positioning is, where Stevens wants them to be playing. So they'll have their assignments, and they have a game plan now with 1 away. The double play ball it's definitely in play if you can be able to switch it 4-6-3. Force out at any base. So we'll see what Burt Camper's able to do. He drew a walk in his first at-bat. Camper looking to do a little bit more. That 417 average. And that's a fastball that misses inside. Camper kind of scoot out of the way of that one, and the count now moves 1-0.
Cassiola gets the sign from Schultz fired in there, and that'll be in the dirt, as we see Giacomo really missing in the dirt mostly tonight. Schultz having to make some plays behind there, and he's made the play so far.
Speed is definitely down in his pitches from what we've seen from warm-up and what we traditionally have seen from DiGiacomo. Trying to find a little more control rather than speed, and that's another one that misses low. Count now runs 3-0. And he's at risk of walking in another run.
And keep an eye on that late number bullpen. We now do see somebody warming up over there. Can't get a number just on him yet, but when we do, we'll let you guys know and see who's warming up in the pen. As Burt Camper will take ball 4, say thank you very much, and you have to take the bat off his shoulders in that at bat. And the Kingsmen extend their lead to 3.
It's the easiest way to get an RBI right there.
Yeah. Me and you could have done that probably.
Oh, trust me, I would have chased it almost every single pitch he threw.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I'm not that good.
Yeah.
So another meeting here between Schultz and DiGiacomo. So the Kingsmen now up 3-0. Bases are still loaded for the cleanup hitter, Daniel Reeves. He's assigned as the extra hitter tonight.
And we do see the umpire coming to talk with those two guys. Hurried up a little bit as that's the third mound visit they've had so far in this game. As a quite long discussion, and manager Sean Stevens say, hey, I'm going to come out here, and that will be the end of your night, Phoenix DiGiacomo.
And you could tell he doesn't want to leave the mound as he's trying to plead his case. Thad Lewis, who closed out the game yesterday, will come in. As a tough night for Phoenix, hoping that Lewis can go ahead and keep the runners where they are and leave them stranded. As that will be the end of the night for Phoenix DiGiacomo. As Thad Lewis warms up, we'll take a quick break and be right back with you for the conclusion of the top of the second here from Cox Mill High School.
And welcome back here to Cox Mill High School as we have a new pitcher on the mound for Lake Norman, Thad Lewis. Will be stepping on the rubber in a big situation here. Bases loaded. As manager Sean Stevens called the end to Phoenix DiGiacomo's night. As that one goes for a strike. His first pitch of the night. As we did see Thad Lewis pitch last night, or excuse me, earlier in the first game of the doubleheader, and pretty successful with closing out that game in the 8-0 win. We'll see if he can continue with that success and try to stop the bleeding a little bit here for Lake Norman.
Obviously, a very, very tough situation to come into with the bases loaded and only one away, as the 0-1 will now turn to 1-1 as that ball missed just off the plate, as Dalton Reeves looks to come through in a big way for his team. Reeves had a strikeout in his first at-bat, looking for a different fate here.
Lewis will serve that one in and be fouled off back behind us. So already a lot more control than, we've seen earlier in the game from really both teams, both pitchers. And we'll see if Lewis can continue his success up 0-2 in the count, trying to get that strikeout stuff here.
And the move of bringing DiGiacomo out of the game, I feel like, is a little bit of he doesn't have his control at the moment, and it's a little bit of I want to make sure he's not wasting his arm as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that with how he's pitched this year, it's a situation where you really want him to be able, if he is going to Lynchburg, to pitch sometime in Lynchburg, whether it's in a starting role or a relieving role, so some of these scouts can see the stuff that he has. Because his breaking pitches have some of the most movement, I think, in the entire SCBL.
That's what comes with him having that many strikeouts. That one fouled off, and a great at-bat here as Lewis just can't have that one pitch to put him away.
That's 3 straight fouled off in almost the exact same spots.
So, Giacomo may pitch, 40 pitches tonight, 40, 50 pitches. And you're looking at these games on Monday, Tuesday, maybe look for a Tuesday start for the Copperheads, whoever they're playing there.
Just trying to get enough rest to be able to show off this stuff.
And that one will be high, and the count will go even, 2-2. Still only 1 out in the inning, bases loaded.
Reeves has been very selective with his pitches. Everything he's fouled off has been down the middle.
Yeah.
So he has not chased outside of the zone. It was a good eye there to move this count now to 2-2.
Lewis gets a sign from Schultz. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Lewis finally gets that one pitch to put him away. And now we have 2 outs in the inning.
The first pitch that Dalton Reeves swung at in the at-bat that he didn't make contact with, the only one that he swung at that was outside of the zone. Great pitch and an off-speed from Thad Lewis to go ahead and collect the strikeout, and now force out at any base, and a situation becomes a lot more manageable now for the Copperheads, although Sawyer Reeves, who has an RBI in the first, now digs in. Still got to retire this man. First pitch he sees is a strike right down the middle, catching the lower part of the zone, 0-1.
And we've really seen this at both games, the first and second game. The Kingsmen have been able to get guys on. This game they've been able to convert better than the first, but get guys on but leave them stranded. The first inning they had bases loaded stranded, and right here if Lewis can get out of this jam, another bases loaded stranded. That'd be 6 left on in the first 2 innings. That's a big swing and a miss, and Lewis up in the count 0-2.
Man, that's one of those that you see that come out, and you almost every single pitch you've seen from Lewis so far, that ball's broke a little bit. It's got some kind of two-seam or curveball movement on it. That was a four-seamer that stayed straight inside and just jams you on the hands.
Yeah, Lewis with a really good pitch selection so far.
Needs one more strike to get out of this one. And like you said, leaving 6 stranded in the first 2 would be absolutely huge for the Copperheads and minimize the damage here.
So we'll see if Lewis can get out of this jam. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one inside for a ball, so Lewis will have to step back on the rubber one more time and try to put him away.
And that pitch was a fantastic example of what I was just talking about with the type of movement it's had on it. It breaks away from the batter when standing in the righty box. It breaks away from you, and that one fastball just stayed up and in, so it's so enticing to swing at. But when it jams you hard, especially when you're not expecting it to stay up there.
Yeah.
So that one fouled off over the first base screen, trying to stay alive here. Count sits at 1-2, 2 outs in the inning. Kingsmen have scored 1 so far in the top of the second as Thad Lewis comes in relief of Phoenix DiGiacomo, looking to leave him loaded. The 1-2, fastball high.
And both of these Reeves brothers putting together great at-bats. The at-bat before maybe, an 8-9 pitch at-bat, and this is looking like it's going to be another one of those.
It's a good eye to take that fastball that stayed high and away. Now Lewis looks in as he'll ready to deliver the 2-2. Off speed down in the dirt, now runs full, and if you want to talk about a true full count, you've got 2 outs with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Got to find the zone in some sort of way or have the runner put the ball in play where your fielders can handle it. Big 3-2 now. And a swing and a foul ball down the third base line. That was another fastball that ran inside, but made contact on that. Reeves making sure his bat wasn't broken. So now we'll get a new ball, and we'll try the full count pitch once again.
So we will try the 3-2 once again. Runners will be going. That one will be down the line. Will that stay fair? Will. And Whitaker tries to tag the man out at third. He can't. Just what a perfectly placed ball down the left field line. No chance for Whitaker to fire that across the infield.
Man, such a slow roller there as well as that one just trickled past third base. Whitaker really didn't have anywhere to go because there was nobody covering third. And when you got to try to flip for the force, but when you've got nobody there for the force, all you can do is just try your best to tag the runner out. But he remained on the base. A very, very unfortunate situation for the Copperheads. With the Kingsmen bring another across. So they now lead 4-0.
I mean, Kingsmen are leaning 4-0, but it doesn't really feel like that. I mean, it feels like a lot more than it is because we've had these bases loaded situations, and this game's already been going on for an hour. It feels like it could be 8 or 9 by now. But a great job from DiGiacomo in the first inning. Now Lewis here just trying to limit the damage. And getting out of this inning and maybe getting some runs on the board from the offense would completely change the ballgame.
The shortstop, Aiden Rice, now up to bat for the Kingsmen as he sits in a 1-0 count. Ball in the dirt makes it 2-0. The 2-0 is ripped into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. One run is going to come in to score. Runners will hold at their positions, so an RBI single keeps the bases loaded as Aiden Rice picks up an RBI, and the Kingsmen starting to break this one loose, 5-0 in the top of the second.
Just unfortunate from Lewis there. He's been so close to just having that one strike away and then allowing these 2 runs back to back.
Now batting the first baseman, number 29, Luke Jenkins.
Now the first baseman, Luke Jenkins, stepping in now. He walked for an RBI in his first at-bat in a very similar situation with the bases loaded. This time now, Thad Lewis trying to minimize the damage here. First pitch is a called strike on a off-speed. Had Jenkins fooled either way, it was a strike no matter if he went around or not. The 0-1. And that ball is battered out into right field. It's going to fall, and it will hop over the wall for a ground rule double. And the Kingsmen will collect 2 more runs as the runners from second and third come in to score as they've blown this one open in the top of the second.
As the camera battery does go out, I feel like every inning is just on the border. A team decides, hey, I'm going to put up 7 runs this inning, or whenever they might choose to, and that's what the Kingsmen have done.
Yeah, we do apologize. We are working with some limited equipment tonight, so with the camera batteries going out, we do apologize, but we will be bringing it to you radio play-by-play style from now on. As first pitch to the new batter, Lane McLevane, goes for a strike.
And Reese over there is he's gonna be a pro of having those quick camera change pit stop by the end of this thing. This is about his 3rd or 4th of the night during the broadcast.
The left fielder struck out in his first at bat, and that's a ground ball over to Kyle Whitaker. He will fire to first, and it will be in time, and that will retire the side. But the Kingsmen strike and bring in 4 in the inning. They now lead it 7-0 over the Lake Norman Copperheads, as we'll be back to see if they can bring back the deficit ever so slightly in the bottom of the second.
Yeah. And we are back here at Coxmo High School. Kingsmen with a 7-run advantage. And we'll see if the Copperheads can get back into this lead. Up right now for Lake Norman is Ivan Zambrino. Up this inning for the Copperheads is Zambrino, Tanner, and Whitaker. That one would be high and outside. The count goes to 1-1.
Hey, Bubba, how many hits did they have last inning? 4?
1-1 count.
Yeah. They had 3 last inning, right? Yeah. So it'd be 4? Yeah. No errors, right?
That one high and inside. The count will go to 2-1. Two and one. Zambrino in the box. That one almost gets him, but just gets out of the way. Hitters count, though, 3-1. And waiting on deck is number 5, the shortstop, Jake Tanner. That one will be called a foul tip into the glove, and the count will run a full 3-2. The next home broadcast the Lake Norman Copperheads will have is June 29th against the Ray City Bootleggers, another non-conference matchup for Lake Norman. And we're excited for that, as that is a swing and a miss, but a foul tip. So Zambrino lives to see another day. So yeah, make sure to tune in to the SCBL YouTube channel on the 29th of June. And then we have a broadcast Carolina Vipers the 2nd of July, then a big break from the 2nd to the 13th. But a week and a half we'll have off between home games. They'll host the Vipers once again. 3-2 pitch. That'll be swung on to the shortstop. He will field that one. Aiden Rice will throw it over. 4 out, 1 in the inning.
Yeah, the Copperheads have a lot of live streaming games over the next few days. We've got the one you're watching right now, and we thank you for tuning in. Got an off day on Sunday, and then on Monday and Tuesday, the Copperheads travel to Lynchburg, and both of their games in the showcase will be live streamed. You can find all of that information on Twitter and Instagram tomorrow morning, as it will be posted over there. So I will be making the trip up to Lynchburg with the team, hopefully getting some broadcasting time with some of the other guys from different leagues, and going to have a great time up there, hoping to go 2-0 as there is a single out into left field as it sneaks through the hole between Aiden Rice and Sawyer Reeves. So a base hit for Jake Tanner.
Yeah, so if you're a Copperheads fan, make sure you're tuning in to both of those games. And then we'll have games on Monday, Tuesday, as soon as they get back, that non-conference matchup against the Bootleggers. So a lot of Copperheads baseball coming your way.
Should be a fun game against the Bootleggers. Another one where obviously you still want to win it. However, it does not affect conference standing. So it could be viewed as a tune-up game, but also just a game to let the boys have some fun.
Yeah, going into those Monday and Tuesday showcase, the next SCBL game will be Thursday. It's going to be the Concordays against the Carolina Vipers. Whitaker watched that one in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. As we will have potentially Anthony Cassiolo coming up to the booth, so make sure to drop your comments in the chat if you want to ask some questions to Anthony Cassiolo. They don't have to be anything too serious if you don't want them. And anything that you would like to ask to him, make sure you do it now so your question will be answered before anybody else's will.
Come on, y'all. Somebody drop one question.
That's all we're asking for.
Literally, we need just one.
Just one.
Somebody drop one question. Zane will be up here doing that interview.
We'll have David on the field taking photos for the SCBL on Instagram and Twitter, and LKN.Copperheads on Instagram as well. Kingsmen also have a great photography team at some away games and also at all the home games. A great broadcast crew as well.
Indeed, they do.
So Whitaker fouls that one off. Count is 2-1, 1 out in the inning. That one runner still on first base. And that'll be a called strike. He'll say Whitaker did go. The count evens up at 2-2.
It was very, very close, but they do say Whitaker went around. Copperheads got to get something rolling here.
Jake Tanner standing on first. Kingsman first baseman holding him on. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Whitaker as he goes right through that fastball for the second out of the inning. And the DH Connor Pfizer will step up to the plate. Pfizer started out the night pitching for the Lake Norman Copperheads in their game last night against the Statesville Owls. Pitched a couple innings and then also came in to hit a little bit.
And Pfizer did a pretty good job for the most part for being a position player pitching last night.
Yeah.
So he'll get his chance to show his stuff with the bat now.
Yeah, Connor Pfizer, a limited amount of at-bats, only 7, but with a 4.29 average. You can obviously see why manager Sean Stevens is wanting to put him in this ball game, give him some more reps. The limited sample size, but a great average. And those 7 ABs, 3 hits, 4 runs. Tanner still on first, 1-0 to Pfizer. That will go in for a strike, and the count will even up at 1-1. As Ryan Rouse having a good outing so far tonight. There's no mistakes so far, no pitches that you've seen to be like, oh, he might have missed right there. Everything's been spot on.
His location has been very, very good.
Yeah, and then his catcher Burt Camper also calling up a good game and blocking everything he needs to block. The 1-1 from Rouse. Swing and a miss, and the count will go to 1-2 as Connor Pfizer took a healthy hack at that. Copperhead still trailing by 7, trying to get back to this ball game slow and steady. Can't eat an elephant in one bite and can't get into a 7-run lead in one swing.
I like your analogy.
Yeah. And that's going to be a swing and a miss from Pfizer. So back-to-back strikeouts from Rouse. And that's a way to end off the bottom of the second inning. We'll be back here at Coxmo High School for some more SCBL baseball on the SCBL Network.
All right, what's up?
And welcome back here to Cox Mill High School. Kingsmen still up 7-0. As we see, the first pitch of the inning will go for a strike as he went around. And we have a special guest here on the broadcast, the Charlotte pitcher, Anthony Casiola. Thank you for joining us tonight after your dominant performance in the first leg of the doubleheader.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
And if you guys have any questions for Anthony Casiola, make sure to drop him down in the chat. It's been very, very inactive so far tonight in the whole season. I think we've had one comment this season, so we can double that tonight. As you see that one go high for ball one, the count goes to 1-1. So Anthony, you had a great performance tonight, great performance this whole season. What about tonight stood out to you and what you did?
It was good. I've been really working on the fastball. It's been having a lot of two-seam sink run recently, and I'm trying to get that like high vertical break rise back, and I worked on it well tonight. It was good. The slider's been sharp all year, and I'm flashing this changeup that I've been working on because I really need this third pitch rolling into the fall at Charlotte.
Yeah, just a reminder for everybody: Justin Stewart is in the batter's box, 1-1 pitch, and that will. Did he go? He did, and that'll be strike 3. So Thad Lewis will start off this inning just like he ended the last. So, one of the best ERAs so far in the SDBL season. You had a .69 ERA coming into the game, and then now they'll be obviously lowered after that performance. What has this season showed you as a pitcher, and what are you taking away from it so far?
I've proven myself that I can go deep into games and I can get a lot of zeros for us, and that's what I really want to do going back into Charlotte. I want to be a guy that comes out of the bullpen, and I had a really strong performance against Campbell in the spring where I came out of the bullpen and went almost 5 innings in relief with no runs, and I want to prove that I can do that consistently over and over for us this year. So I'm gonna keep doing it this summer.
Yeah, Campbell obviously a very strong team, won the Big South and challenged Tennessee in that regional.
Yeah, they're good, yeah.
Yeah. What do you want coming out of this fall season? Obviously, a very, very big season coming for you at Charlotte. What do you want coming out of the fall and then into the spring?
I had a bit of a strike problem in the fall this year, which was kind of demoralizing because the summer prior to that, I was filling it up. I only walked like 4 kids the entire summer.
Yeah.
And then the fall, I kind of lost it a little bit. Like I was saying, my fastball was just kind of moving all over the place. It's a gift, but it's a curse. So I want to come into the fall, filling that up, and the slider's been sharp for like a year now, so I got a really good feel for that. But I'm really working on this changeup, and I'm working with my pitching coach at Charlotte, Coach Miney. He's one of the most brilliant minds in the game right now, and we're going to keep working on this changeup as I get back into the fall because I think it's just going to be vital facing lefties in lineups if I want to go deep into games.
So last time you played in Florida, what managed into your decision playing here in Lake Norman this summer?
I wanted to be local, and I wanted to get a lot of innings. Like you said, I was in the Palm Beach League last summer. I was fortunate enough to get a phone call to fly up to the Cape for like 3 weeks after that because they just need a bullpen arm. But, I could have done it again this summer, but I really wanted to get a lot of innings in, right? So I played locally. I'm here at the Copperheads. Coach Stevens reached out to me, and he was like, hey, man, you'll start every 5-6 days, and you can give us 5-6 innings every single time. And I think those reps are going to be huge for me. Like I said, developing a new pitch, getting the fastball back to what it used to be. And the reps are great, along with the fact that the guys here are just a lot of fun to be around. So.
Yeah, obviously a local guy. You played your high school ball at Whitaker High School, same with your brother. Your brother, a quarterback at Dayton, so obviously a very athletic family, and that played into your decision playing here at Lake Norman.
Yeah. It's nice being home with him. He'll be going up for football camp coming back, and I'm really proud of him. It's great working with him and a lot of my local friends. We just get after it every single day, and it's great to be surrounded by guys like that. So.
Yeah. So far this SCBL season, has there been one start or one batter you've had to face that you had to go deep into accounts with or being very impressed with having to face?
Probably, there's a player on Charlotte right now, David McCabe, who's probably going to get his name called first day of the MLB draft coming up around the corner. And his brother, Nathan McCabe, played for the Concord A's. And when I saw him come to the plate, I was like, man, he looks just like Dave. And you guys were announcing the last name McCabe. And it got in my head a little bit. I'll be honest, because Dave McCabe, I mean, he hit me pretty hard in the fall, man.
Yeah.
He was, I'll be honest, I think Dave was probably like the best hitter I've ever pitched against. And then when his brother came to the plate, I had a good outing against the A's, but man, I just got in my head a little
Yeah.
bit. I was kind of freaked out.
So you've had a very interesting journey so far in your college season, or your college career. Started your season or your career at Bucknell, then came be a local boy at Charlotte. What played into your decision from transferring and walk us through your journey? Ever since your freshman year at Bucknell.
Yeah, it's a great question. It was a really tough transition, really tough decision. Going from Bucknell to Charlotte. I went there out of high school. I wasn't throwing too hard out of high school. I was actually like 77. My senior year, I got really lucky, made a huge velo jump, was able to get into Bucknell. Went there for the education. The education was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That entire Patriot League and with the Ivies right around it, the education was unreal. But it wasn't really what I felt was right in terms of a development standpoint in pitching. And I wanted to win a lot of games, and Charlotte was having a great year. They were turning guys, left and right, throwing 95 for strikes, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that it's right up the road, my family gets to see me every day. It was a no-brainer, right? And what Coach Woodard's doing there, and like I said, Miney, the pitching coach, like I truly think they're the brightest minds in baseball right now, especially in the college world. And I couldn't turn it down. So as soon as I entered the portal, the day after the Bucknell season ended, I reached right out to Charlotte, and I was like, I want to come to you guys.
Yeah.
And actually, it was tough because I entered the portal in like late May, and then I was in the Palm Beach League, and I was throwing really well.
Yeah.
Really well in the Palm Beach League early on. And Charlotte hadn't offered for like a month. It was very it wasn't quiet. They called me all the time. They were on me. They recruited me pretty hard.
Yeah.
But they had a season to work on. They were going to the regionals. They had a great year, and they were focusing on that before new guys coming in. And there were a lot of schools that called me and offered me, and I had to turn them down. And it was tough because I was just waiting on Charlotte. It was dead set.
Yeah.
Like it's Charlotte or nothing.
Yeah.
And I will say, best decision I ever made, hands down. Going to Charlotte. I mean, right up the road, great baseball. It's a blessing. So.
Yeah. One guy that's coming into this Copperheads pitching rotation is Grayson Barger, obviously one of your best friends from Weddington High School. I feel like you had a role in that recruitment process to Lake Norman.
I did actually.
Yeah.
He Grayson Barger. I got to tell you his story real quick. He was in high school. He never pitched.
Yeah.
He was always a hitter. Erskine College in South Carolina. Gave him an offer as a pitcher, right-handed pitcher. We were all shocked. We were like, he'd never thrown a game before.
Yeah.
And he goes to Erskine for 2 years, doesn't really play much. He ended up just leaving this past year.
Yeah.
The same year I transferred, goes to college at Charleston, playing club ball. He was just a student there. And then this summer, him and my brother and a couple other high school friends that were on my baseball team, we lift all the time, throw all the time, hang out, we're best friends. And Grayson just decides to pick up a baseball this summer, and he's like 88, which is like, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
To not play baseball for like a year and a half. He's just messing around club ball, and he's upper 80s right now. And so he was on the Statesville Owls, and he was like, screw it, I'm gonna play baseball again. I'm gonna have some fun with it. And I'll be honest, I did recruit him. I was like, listen, dude. I was like, we need arms. We're down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they want me throwing like in midweeks a little bit for an inning or two, and I was like, Grayson, please join me. So this is great. He's getting a lot of college exposure. He wants to try to get the game going a little more. We'll see where he ends up. But who knows? He might throw tonight. I'll be going crazy. I'll be down there.
Your biggest supporter on the sidelines?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like my brother, man. He really is.
So I do have a question from the Sports Objective. Anthony, talk about playing for Coach Robert Wood at Charlotte. Who was one of the best pitchers who was one of the best pitchers ever at University of North Carolina?
Yeah. What's the question? Like, just talk about.
Yeah, talk about having to play about under him and what you've learned from him.
He actually is. He's like a mentor of mine.
Yeah.
It's him and I. We got a great relationship. I've only been there for a year, and he's such like a welcoming guy. Like I literally just will walk up to his office and we'll just talk baseball for an hour. We'll just talk about anything. And he's a competitor. He's obviously, like you said, the winningest pitcher at Chapel Hill. And he's just respected in the baseball world. Like I said, he's a bright mind, man. He really knows what he's doing. He's got this leadership quality where, as soon as he just walks in the room, everybody just eyes on him.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're just listening to what he says. When we're down in games, when we're up in games, whatever comes out of his mouth, everybody is locked in. Mm-hmm. There's not a single kid in the background like rolling his eyes like, oh boy, let's get out of here. You know what I mean? And It's a culture thing. It starts from the top, and they brought that into Charlotte. He's only been there for a few years, right? And he turned this place into an absolute war zone of competition and guys who just get after it. And that iron sharpens iron quality, especially on the pitching staff, is just the reason why I think this team's going to be extremely successful. So.
Yeah, looking at the next season for Charlotte, what's your goals for the next season and the team's goals? Because obviously Charlotte wasn't able to make the NCAA tournament this year like they did last year, but obviously a very strong team moving in from the CUSA to the American in only a couple years.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough transition. I think it's going to be great for us in the entire school as a whole.
Yeah.
In terms of my goals, I want to be a guy out of the bullpen, and I really think I can do it. I proved it at times, like I said, with Campbell. I had a great outing against App. I had the velo, I had the strikes, I had the intensity, and they know I can do it. The team knows I can do it, so I'm going to come back and do it. It starts with the fall, though. I got to have a really strong fall going in the spring. And then in terms of team goals, like we're going to Omaha.
Yeah.
We down in the Niner Report, they do the same thing like what you guys do, and they're phenomenal with the Twitter and the podcast and everything. And they started a hashtag 1,149 miles.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yep, it's on my Instagram. It's on every account that I got.
Yeah.
It's actually I got a brand new glove.
Really?
This summer. It's all Charlotte custom because I'm a narcissist for the place, and it's got 1149 on it, and it means a lot to me. And basically, what that means is miles to Omaha.
Yeah.
It's 1149 miles to Omaha, and I truly think that we can do it. I think we got the talent to do it, and like the pitching staff, we got the hitting, we got the coach, we got the competitiveness. I truly think we can do it. If I didn't think we can do it, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I got one more question for you. That beautiful glove that you were talking about, I saw it in the dugout. I saw the pictures of it. Went through the inspiration of it because it's one of the best gloves I've seen around here.
Thank you. It's a small company called Emery Glove Company.
Yeah.
And they do some custom gloves, and I was like, you know what, man. Like we got some guys at Charlotte who got these like beautiful like teal mitts, like these full teal gloves with like pink lacing and stuff, and it looks. I'll be honest, it looks cool. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Emery and they customized it, and they did a phenomenal job. Anybody that listens to this, I really would check them out. It's an incredible leather, and it's got the logo on it and the 1149, and it's awesome. I'm gonna use that a lot.
Yeah.
Going into next year. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Best of luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. A great interview, probably the only one and the best one we've had this year.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Yep. This was great. It's really well done. It's really professional up here. It's a nice job, man.
And the Kingsmen extend their lead to 9-0. We'll be back here at Coxmo High School for some more SCBL baseball action. And welcome back here to Coxmo High School. The Copperheads now batting. And the first pitch of the inning will be swung on, pop fly, and Brooke Camper racing in that one. That'll be out of play. Hey. As I think I just acquired myself a hot dog. A great throw from whoever that was. So no balls, one strike, and now we have Reese on the color commentary. Thank you to the person who asked that question, to Anthony Cassiola. Just what a great interview we had with Anthony, and glad he could come on to the broadcast tonight and provide some more entertainment in this game.
Great to be on the call tonight. I didn't think I was going to be on the call tonight, but As Anthony's interview concluded and David's still down taking some pictures, I'm on the call now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, great to hear from a guy that has that level of Division I experience and it has done so well this SCBL campaign. And coming off a great performance today, like he's pitched great all the season, only allowing 1 run this year. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that will be strike 3 looking. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Thank you, Anthony. So now stepping to the plate is back to the top of the order, Kyrus Dawson. Zach Will goes down looking.
Forgive me for not talking much. I'm still trying to run the scoreboard for you guys, but I would try my best to chime in every now and then.
Well, and thank you, Reese. You've done such a great job. Almost 14 innings. And that one is lined to the third base. And Kyrus Dawson will show off the wheels. Can he get there? He cannot win a great throw from the Kingsman third baseman, Sawyer Reeves. And that goes for the second out of the inning. Like I was saying, Reese has been behind the scenes doing the dirty work. Me and David just sit and talk baseball for 14 innings, but he's doing the great scoreboard. And I think later in the season we'll have some more interactive stuff for you guys viewers as Reese getting the hang of things and doing a great job.
Yeah, as I'm starting to get a good feel for this,
Yeah.
I'm trying to intertwine some new things for you guys to bring a more professional and fun atmosphere to the whole broadcast.
That one is low and outside for ball 1. Up to bat is Christian Maceda. His first at bat, it was a ground out. And I bet you guys can see it's the bottom of the third inning. 9-0 lead for Kingsmen, and that beautiful scoreboard we have in the left-hand part of the broadcast. That one runs inside on Maceda, and he has to get out of the way. It's just so much better for the viewers when we have a little scoreboard down there to remind people that are maybe just tuning in to say, hey, Kingsmen up 9-0, and Reese is doing a great job.
Yeah, we had one last night when we didn't have one for that doubleheader against the A's about a week ago now.
That one will be lined to the third baseman, and back-to-back plays made by Sawyer Reeves. And that'll be the third out of the inning. So a quick 1-2-3 inning from Ryan Rouse. We'll be back here at Cox Mill High School for some more SCBL baseball on the SCBL Network. And welcome back here to Cox Mill High School. Leading off the top of the fourth inning is Aiden Rice. Due up this inning is 6-7-8 for Kingsmen. Rice, Jenkins, and McLevin. First pitch of the inning will be a high fastball for ball 1. And on the mound is number 20, Jacob Shaw. So a new pitcher into the game for the Copperheads. As he could have been in last time, but I wasn't paying too much attention. I was paying attention to the interview we had with Anthony Casiola.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I was just trying to keep track on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, the interview with Casiola, and as that one is launched in the left field, that ball is gone.
Caught by the left fielder.
That ball looked gone, but just stayed in the ballpark. As, man, what an absolute shot by Aiden Rice, but just at the track. Just enough room for Christian Maceda to get to that one. But that was sky high, though. That looked gone all the way.
It really did, and I can see where you thought it was gone because the third base dugout's right there. But I had a little bit better of an advantage point, and Maceda just –
well, the thing for me is where I'm standing right here, the third base dugout was blocking that baseball. So I see it so sky high, like that got to be gone. And then when it comes down, I couldn't even see the baseball. So I had to imagine it was gone with the dugout's reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was gone, but Maceda was there right at the back of the fence, and that ball would be popped out for a foul ball.
Yes. So unfortunate for Aiden Rice, as that is a fly out. And up to bat is Luke Jenkins, the big lefty. So now we have one out of the inning. Shaw will deliver, and that one will be a ball. Just an update on Jacob Shaw's SCBL stats so far for the Lake Norman Copperheads this season. 9.1 innings pitched with a 6.75 ERA, 9 strikeouts. His 4th appearance of the year, all 4 of those being in relief. So obviously that guy, manager Sean Stevens, trust coming out of the bullpen is that one will be fouled off for will be fouled off, and the count will stay at 0-2.
Yeah, and if y'all have any suggestions for what I can do with the scoreboard and make it more fun for you, feel free to put a little bit of something, like give me a little bit of feedback in the chat. That would be much appreciated. Y'all have been kind of quiet tonight, but we still respect you, and we're glad that you're watching this because it is a great treat to watch summer baseball.
Yeah, we're glad you're watching it. No matter if you're in the comments or not, I know some people are putting this game up on their television and watching it off there, so maybe not access to a chat. As now it is a 2-2 count with 1 out of the inning. But anything that you think would advance the level of this broadcast, please put in the chat. If it's something that me and David should do, commentating or Reese behind the scenes, anything that can advance the level of this broadcast and make it better for you guys enjoying it at home, please tell us, because we are all ears here.
Any feedback is good feedback. Feel free to DM us on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that.
As that is a swing and a miss for strike 3 in the second out of the inning. And make sure anybody that you're DMing or liking or following SCBL-wise is SCBL Baseball. No periods, no underscores. There's been other accounts out there that are not us, so make sure you're following the right SCBL account. It's SCBL Baseball, no periods, no underscores, both on Twitter and Instagram. As we see Lane McIlvain staying in. And if you want to keep up with these broadcasts, you know when they will be. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SCBL Baseball, and turn on those post notifications, because whenever we go live, you'll see the notifications pop up on your phone and say, hey, the Copperheads are playing. Let's turn that on television. Let's turn that on YouTube, and let's watch this game. And also, if you're following us, LKN.Copperhead or LKN.Copperheads on Instagram, then LC, and then the rest of Copperheads on Twitter, you'll see the updates for the games, and there'll be links posted on the SCBL Instagram as well, so you can keep up with the Copperheads. That one will go in for a strike and even up the count at 1-1.
Seriously, any feedback will help.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to do it right this second, but after the game or a couple weeks from now, a week, 2 days, whenever, just let us know. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask us, and we'll try to keep everything in mind.
As Lewis thought that was strike 3 right there. He's about to strut off the mound, but only strike 2, so has one more strike to go to get out of this inning. As make sure you're tuning in on the 29th. That's the day that the Copperheads get back from that big trip to Lynchburg, Virginia, up for that showcase at Liberty University to play the Ray City Bootleggers in a non-conference matchup. As that will be strike 3 on the outside part of the plate, and he will go down looking. So a quick inning for both sides. And we'll see if the Copperheads can do anything here in the bottom of the 4th. Still down 9-0, and they will need a lot of outs here. Stick with us for the bottom of the 4th. And welcome back here as Jackson Taylor will step into the box. Taylor sent that home run over the left center field wall in the first game. And looking to start out a rally here, down by 9. And 12 outs to work with the Copperheads, shortening games from 9 innings to 7. So not as much time as they usually would, as that is a big hack from Taylor. That ball in the dirt for a strike.
I mean, they were down 9 last night to the Statesville Owls in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And they pulled a tremendous comeback, but came up a run short, losing 9-8. But even still, that was a great comeback, and hopefully they can start some sort of a rally to come back in this game.
Yeah, what a miraculous comeback. Obviously had that big 3-run bomb from Kyle Whitaker, and you had runners on the corners, 2 outs. That infield pop-up just ended that late game 2-out rally, but great fight back from the Copperheads, and that's showing that this baseball team is willing to fight back. And I think that's going to be really big, showing late in games later this season in the SCBL tournament and games that you'll need positioning-wise for first, second place in the league. You'll need to know, hey, I know this guy can get me a big hit late, and that's what we saw last night.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think Steven's thinking about a final lineup, or just some sort of a lineup to go into Lynchburg for that tournament. Kyle Whitaker, he's just a great guy altogether. Great personality as he strikes out. Taylor strikes out.
Yeah. So Taylor goes down on cage. Next up is Andrew Schultz. And it's going to be an interesting predicament for manager Stevens, because you obviously want to play your best guys in that showcase, and obviously only a certain amount of guys are going to that showcase, not everybody. But you want to play, a decent amount of guys in that showcase, but you also want to throw your best people. So you want guys to be able to get looks, but you also want your best guys to get the most looks. So it's going to be an interesting balancing act to see if he throws out 2 different lineups or he throws 2 kind of the same lineups, because what we've seen in doubleheaders so far this year is 2 different lineups. I think the Copperheads are the most balanced team in the SCBO, definitely, because I think every guy has had pretty much an equal amount of at-bats. We see that one go for a strike against Schultz.
Well, I mean, it's college baseball. Every guy is here to either have fun or try to make themselves look good going into college. Trying to, get their stats up, getting their reps in, getting more focused into the game of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are in the some of these guys are in the transfer portal. As you talked about earlier, Peter Worth, transferring from St. Mary's, and you have a guy that's in the lineup right now for the Copperheads, Kairos Dawson in the portal looking for a new home. And then Grayson Barger, as we heard about, Anthony Casiola is one of his best friends from Whittington High School, played at Erskine College in Little Dew Point, Due West, South Carolina, then played club ball at College of Charleston, just having some fun, playing club ball as a student there. And then he steps on the mound, throws 9. He said, hey, I want to play baseball again. And now he's looking for a home somewhere, maybe the Division II JUCO ranks this upcoming season. And he's come to Lake Norman, recruited from Anthony Casiola, as Casiola might be regarded as one of the best recruiters in the nation. He's 1 for 1 right now, and the guys he's recruited trying to get to Lake Norman. So that's pretty good success rate, if you ask me.
Yeah, and especially in Lynchburg, that's a big college scene where you can get looks at different colleges and scouts and wherever. But that's the beauty of this summer league, is it's to open opportunities for these young players.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have 5 different leagues there at that showcase. So they'll see guys that have never seen before from different divisions. Maybe, you're a D2 player and you're seeing this guy from a bigger D1 school that, you won't be able to see in a normal regular season, or college teammates, a guy that may be playing in a different league, but you and him are best buddies from going to school together, going to class together, playing on the same baseball team. In college, as we see ball 4 there from Andrew Schultz, and Ivan Zamborino will have 1 guy on for his next at-bat. So I'm very excited to watch David on the broadcast and him being able to broadcast with some other guys, and excited to watch some Copperheads baseball, not at Coxville High School, and be a viewer just like people that are watching the stream right now.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great opportunity for David. I hope David succeeds in this broadcasting business and in sports broadcasting in general. I mean, everybody's got his chance, so I would love to see him succeed.
So Ivan Zamborino in the box. That one goes high for ball 1. This has been a very competitive SCBL season. A lot more competitive than we saw last season. Every team, I think, can win the championship. Right now we have those top 4 teams that are really battling it out. We have the Copperheads in first. Kingsmen just behind them. It looks like the Kingsmen might even it up here as they're up 9-0 right now, so a win for the Kingsmen would tie these two teams atop the SCBL standings once again going into that big showcase. They have the Spinners just a half a game behind both of those two teams. The A's in 4th place right now. They're about a 500 average on the season. Then you have the Vipers in last place. Yes, they are in last place. Yes, they only have 2 wins on the season. They started out 0-5, but their first win of the season was against the Copperheads, who at the time had the best record in the SCBL. So that shows that any team can beat any team in this league. As we see Schultz having to scurry back over there to first base.
Almost tagged him on the foot.
Yeah.
But yeah. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was.
Probably just how competitive this league has been this year, and just any team can beat any team. As we saw last year, the Mooresville Spinners won the championship last year. They're the 3 seed. And we saw the 2 Mustang teams who are now the Stampede Baseball Club, part of that, not part of the SCBL season this year. They did not continue their college team, just going with the youth ranks this year. But the 3 seed, the Mooresville Spinners, won the championship last year, and in a lot of leagues, you won't be able to see the 3 seed win a championship.
Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about this doubleheader. It has a lot of impact on the league right now because it puts Lake Norman right now in first place. And coming into this doubleheader, they were tied in the standings.
As we see, that one skied over to the batting cages, and that will go over into the softball field. But, yeah, I mean, if hypothetically, let's say the Copperheads make a miraculous comeback, 10 runs, win this ball game, that goes from the Kingsmen winning this game for being tied at the top of the SCL standings to Lake Norman have a 2-game advantage. That's just that's a completely different ball game right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, considering last season for the Copperheads, they're already doing better than what
more wins this season than they had last season.
I know.
2 more wins.
And now to go from almost the bottom of the pot in the SCBL to now being one of the top contenders. That's just the beauty of summer baseball because each year has different teams.
A completely different team and a new manager. What a great job, Sean Stevens, coming back to Lake Norman to manage this team from Keystone College. Just getting his guys, the guys that he wants on this roster, and compiling them up and just doing a great job managing this ball club. The Copperheads had a 13-game losing streak going into that tournament. As we see Schultz going, but it'll be ball 4 anyway. That a 13-game losing streak going into that. Just what a great recovery from manager Sean Stevens. And this team is competitive and arguably the favorites to win this league this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're obviously going to be the favorites. Yeah. Coming from the bottom now back up to almost the top.
Yeah.
Assuming that they win this game or tie this game, they're going to be in the
still at the top.
Yeah,
of
they're still going to be the top of the standings. I mean, again, I can emphasize this enough. It's the beauty of summer league baseball.
Every season, every team is different from league to league. You very rarely have guys that go from one team to the same team the next summer. Obviously, we have some guys in this league that are former Copperheads. You have J.D. Brock, the Clemson outfielder for the Mooresville Spinners. He's a starter over there in Mooresville, so we do see a mound visit. Jake Tanner is the man up for the Copperheads. Tanner, the man out of West Virginia State, as I had a great conversation with his grandparents visiting from West Virginia. They live in the state capital, Charleston. Coming down to see their grandson play some baseball. Got to see him pitch last night a little bit, and now be able to see him in the lineup as a DH spot. So the mound visit will continue. As they're just talking things over, we do see the home plate umpire coming out there to break these guys up and hurry up this baseball game. It's already been a very long baseball game. The start of this game was at 7:30. We're at 10:15 right now, and we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. As we started baseball at 5 p.m. today, and we're about 5 hours in, and we might have 6.5 hours of baseball in total today, and only 14 innings. So the mound visit is done, and Burt Campbell will go back behind the plate.
Assuming the Kingsmen pitcher will stay in because they have nobody working in their bullpen.
No.
Maybe just going up and chatting them, say, hey, I mean, you throwing a couple walks now,
Just settle down and get back into this ball game. What you've been doing the whole game so far.
Yeah, I mean.
As we see that one for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. And with this big advantage, and the Kingsmen having this showcase this week, and you have to imagine if anybody's going to come out and pitch with this lead they have, it's going to be a man that is not a pitcher, a position player only. Because you don't want to waste arms, as we saw Jaden Hackbarth come out for the Copperheads last night as a position player and did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I loved seeing him come out and pitch.
Yeah.
And even though he wasn't throwing a lot, he was throwing a lot of eephus pitches. Yeah. But he had some power. I mean,
when he decided to throw 75 and not 35,
I know,
he was throwing him in there.
Almost like a rainbow type pitch, and then almost a straight line pitch from his, I would say, fastball.
As that one is high and inside for ball 2, so 2-1 count. Yeah, and that eephus pitch, man, it's just so high arcing. You almost have to like swing up to connect with the baseball. And we didn't see really any hard hit balls. All our hard hit balls were off that kind of fastball that he had, and not the eephus pitch.
Well, we saw a lot of hard swings on those type of balls, but
a lot of them guys swinging on them shoes going outside the batter's box.
Well, I mean, they're not used to seeing that kind of low velocity pitch, so it's like trying to get that timing down for that.
That one inside for a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. A lot of those guys, if they connected with that baseball, it's going far, but not many of them connected with it.
Well, and especially as it comes in on like a rainbow arc instead of like not like BP, it comes in kind of like straight at you. It's hard.
It's hard to adjust, man.
Yeah, it's hard to adjust those kind of pitches. I mean, you could have had a home run derby, but again, with that arc, you never know where it's going to be.
Here comes the 2-2. He will step off the mound. Just a reminder, runners at first and second base, only one out of the inning. As the Copperheads trying to get maybe 3 runs in here this inning and just make this lead a little more manageable and maybe get a rally in another inning, and it's going to be a close game.
Mm-hmm. And this is a much longer game than anticipated. I mean, only bottom 4, it was 7 innings.
As that one is swung on to the left, or excuse me, the right center field gap, the runner will be going. Here comes the throw, and nowhere close. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Now we'll have runners at the corners, as that one was high, but that wasn't towards the track like the other one, and no chance of getting out like I thought Connor Pfizer's did. Or, I think that was Pfizer that had the big fly out.
Yeah, I mean, the distance of the one that Pfizer hit over to the left corner probably had the same height as that one did, but not as much distance.
So Kyle Whitaker steps back. He's played both games of this doubleheader so far tonight. As big number 13 will step in.
Whitaker hoping to drive it in another 3-run home run.
Yeah.
As he has in his last couple at bats.
Yeah, Whitaker so far 2 home runs in the last 2 games, trying to make it 3 straight right here. Here comes the first pitch of his at bat. That one will be inside, brushes him off the plate a little bit for ball 1.
Do you think he will have some nerves coming up to bat, knowing that he has a big arm or big presence in the batter's box, drilling those 2 home runs?
Yeah, you can look at it both ways, because if you're a pitcher, you have to look at it. This guy's hit, back-to-back home run. He might not know about that home run last night because there's no stats about that, but he certainly knows about that home run early. That one is jacked into center field. That's some good exit velo, but will be caught. It'll go over his head for a ground rule double. This very hard field at Coxville High School. And it just decides to bounce over the wall, as that one was kind of lost in the lights a little bit and into the darkness as well. I think not many people in the press box could see where that ended up. But that was that absolute shot off his bat, and Whitaker keeps showing that exit velo.
Honestly, I thought that was going to go over the fence.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it ultimately did go over the fence, but it had to take a hop over it.
Well, and that thing, if that had a little more height to it, that's going over the fence, because that obviously had enough, velo to get over the fence. But it was just a straight line drive bullet. And you don't see exit velo like that from too many guys with that wood bat.
No. I mean, it's almost like he's swinging a metal bat up there.
That one be fouled off at the protective netting for strike 1.
That one might have been coming right at us without the netting.
Man, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
It's going to be difficult to ever get a foul ball behind here. It would have to be in like the most perfect way.
Crazier things have happened.
It has. I mean,
what the first game that we had, that one was probably 5 feet to the left of us. If that thing's a little more right, that's right in my hands.
Maybe. I mean, you
never know.
Never know. You never know.
So runners at second and third in scoring position, as that one will be fouled off once again. Up to the plate for the Copperheads is number 3, Connor Pfizer. Pfizer in the DH spot tonight for the Copperheads.
And I wonder what's going on in Kyle Whitaker's mind right now. He just added another RBI onto his RBI totals. you would think that he was like, oh yeah, I have a home run off that bat. But
Me and you
getting a
certainly
ground,
thought.
yeah. I mean, I saw him kind of chugging along to first. It almost like he knew he kind of almost hit it out, but then as soon as he saw it, oh, it's going to stay in, he kind of hustled it back up a little bit, as that will be the end of the inning.
Yes, a big swing and a miss from Connor Pfizer. So the Copperheads can't only get one run out of that inning, still trailing by 8. We'll be back here from Coxmo High School for some more SCBL action on the SCBL Network. And welcome back here as Justin Stewart, the right fielder, stepping into the box. Last time going down on a backwards K.
Obviously, I can't put a backwards K on this, but you know, a K would just have to do.
As that was a check swing, but we'll go to the second baseman for out 1. Zach will field that one and say thank you very much. That was about the easiest ground ball you'll get all day right there. That's easier than one you'll get from manager Sean Stevens handing them out to you before the game starts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't even see the ball even exit off of his bat, if I'm being honest, because I got this big screen in front of me trying to do everything at once. But.
Yeah. So now the DH, Jack Salfer, will step in. He has a backwards K and a walk so far this game. Salfer pitching the first leg of this doubleheader and getting his chance batting. And our man David Katz is still down there taking photos as the pitch will be low, as he is a big part of what we do at the SCBL and our social media team. He does a great job. Me and him help co-running the SCBL Instagram, then he does the Twitter, and he does the LKN.Copperheads, Lake Norman Copperheads. Instagram is that one to be high. He does a great job in editing those posts for the wins and the game days.
Yeah, I just had to give a big shout out to David.
Yeah.
I haven't known him for very long, but like every chance I talk to him, he just has a great personality and feels like I've been friends with him for years. And I think that would be very important going into his broadcasting career if he does decide to pursue it, as we see ball 4 advancing him to first base.
Yeah, we do see ball 4, so Zach Salfer will say thank you very much. I'll get out in the first, and Cam McNearney steps into the box for the 4th time tonight in only 5 innings. That's a good sign, especially with 10 hitters if you're the Kingsmen.
Yeah, and I'm pumped to hear David's voice commentating in Lynchburg, as he is the voice of the Copperheads right now.
As that one is belted out to center field. Will that stay in the yard? It will, and a good catch from the Copperhead center fielder, Kyrus Dawson, tracking back to that one as Karen McNearney got a big piece of that baseball.
He did. That was a great rip off the bat. Unfortunately, Christian Macedo was right there where he hit the baseball.
Yeah. So now we have 2 outs in the inning, and Anthony Mitta will step in. Mitta, great jobs of being walked tonight. That's already been walked 2 times. And as Dave was saying, we'll have a lot of info on the Lake Copperheads going up to Lynchburg, and all 5 SCBL teams going up there. It'll be on the SCBL Twitter and Instagram, so if you want to see the links to watch those games, make sure you do so. As I know me and Reese will be tuning in to watch those games, not only for the Copperheads, but every team in the SCBL. It's always exciting to watch some extra baseball, as that one will go for a strike and even up the count 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was going to Lynchburg with David just to experience the whole thing, but unfortunately, I'll be staying at home because I still have another job outside of this, and I have to work those days. But I mean, it would be an honor to go to Lynchburg, but unfortunately, I am not, as we see that one go foul.
Yeah, we do see that one go foul, so the count will be 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Lynchburg, just a beautiful baseball facility they have at Liberty University, as Liberty will be transitioning into the CUSA for baseball. And that's going to be very exciting for them to go from the A-Sun, where they're at now, and then going into the CUSA. As a new addition to the A-Sun is Queens University. That's very exciting. A local team around here in the Charlotte area going D1 as that one we fouled off, and the count will stay at 2-1. We saw the SCBL Player of the Year, Alex Sexton, was from Queens last year. The man from the Carolina Vipers, and excited to see a local team go Division I. I bet they'll do great in the A-Sun. Have a great basketball program, top 10 in the nation last year, and obviously great at baseball. Not many Queens guys in the SCBL this season like they were last year, but there was definitely a big amount last year, and I'm excited to see if we get a lot of more Division I guys into these rosters because another Division I team so close to us.
And Liberty University, it could not be the better facility used for this tournament, because I've toured Liberty myself. It is a beautiful school, but I'm just happy that they get the opportunity to go to a good college baseball field and getting some good play time.
As that one is in the left center field gap, that ball is high. Kyrus Dawson will track it down, and he will get there for out 3. So the lead stays at 8 for Kingsmen. The Copperheads will step back in to the batter's box, have the bottom of the 4th, bottom of the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So 12 more outs to work with. We'll be back here at Cox Mill High School for some more Lake Norman Copperheads baseball. Me. And welcome back here as the Copperheads are back in the batter's box. Still down by 8, so a long way to go. As that one be fouled off into the softball field. As we do see David Katz back into the box after taking the much needed photos we need for the Lake Norman Copperheads Instagram and the SCBL Instagram.
I have word that Ian Askin might be coming in next inning, so I'm going to have to go back down and get some more pictures.
So 1-1 count, no outs in the inning. Now to be in the dirt, 4 ball. Ian Askin, a very exciting guy to watch with his big 6'10 frame, and he can fire fastballs in there in the 95, 96 region. Anytime you have a guy firing them in that fast, it's super exciting to watch.
Yeah, I was sitting down there talking to him, and manager came up and was like, "You gonna pitch?" He was like, "I didn't even know I could bat it. You want me to pitch?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, if you want to pitch, you got the numbers."
Yeah.
So he went to go ahead and did a bullpen session. So we will see if he will be on the mound in the start of the next inning.
Yeah, the Kingsmen, they put up all their runs in the beginning of the game, and then ever since then, whoever's came in for Lake Norman has done a good job just limiting the damage. As we see that one in the dirt, and the count runs to 3-1.
Kyrus Dawson there collecting the foul ball.
Dawson make 2 great plays in playing center field there in this last inning. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swung on to the shortstop. Aiden Rice will field that one, throw it over for out 1. As that is a 6-3 put out for the first out of the inning. And up next for the Copperheads is number 17, Kyrus Dawson. Dawson had a ground ball to the left side, tried to beat it out. He's very speedy, 8 stolen bases on the year, but just couldn't meet out the third baseman, Reeves' throw. He steps in once again. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. That one is low and in the dirt for ball 1.
Had a chance while I was down there to talk to Ryan Rouse in between innings. Just a little casual conversation there. He's going to UNCG right now, and just all-around little stand-up guy. Very nice to talk to him. Very nice fella. So enjoyed talking to him, and he was talking me through some of his warm-ups to kind of keep his arm warmed in between innings, especially during some of these longer innings, just to make sure that he's keeping the blood flowing, the arms feeling nice and warm. That way he doesn't go out there hurt anything.
Yeah.
Get to a bad rhythm.
And we do see guys that are kind of different. Some guys just like to chill in the dugout, just collect their thoughts in between innings. Some guys, like we saw Anthony Castiglione in that first game, just doing pull-downs for 10, 15 minutes straight. As that one goes for a ball, and the count goes to 2-1. That's one thing that I've seen so far this season. It's just every guy you talk to is just super nice, very willing to talk to you. And
absolutely.
Anything about the broadcast, they're very
they love it.
very thankful that we're here, game in and game out. As that one will be a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. And everybody talked to just very nice and great guys to have in that Lake Norman dugout, and every dugout for every team that Lake Norman's played and every team in the SCBL.
Yeah, the boys, they love the broadcast. They love the pictures. They love any of the publicity they can get, anything like that. So all of them very just stand-up guys, honestly. Yeah. Everyone down in that Copperheads dugout that I've talked to has been extremely nice and extremely friendly and open.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that, me and you talked about a little bit in the beginning of the season. The more stuff that we can bring to the table for these guys brings more exposure to this team in the league. And, that just brings better players into this league in the future and for the Copperheads. And, you see guys, a person might be deciding, hey, I'm between the Concord A's and the Lake Norman Copperheads. What might make that difference is, hey, I have every home game broadcast and I have professional pictures made and, a true social media presence as well. 2-2 pitch, and that'll be swung on by Dawson for out 2. And Christian Maceda will step in. That's number 11, Wilson Loher, coming in for Maceda. So the 6'3" left-handed outfielder Wilson Loher from Southeastern Community College will step in the box.
Pitching for Lake Norman,
So Wilson Lohr steps in the left-handed batter's box. Lohr, a local kid from Charlotte, North Carolina, will be going to his sophomore campaign at Southeastern Community College next season. The first pitch will be high and outside for ball 1. And that one high and inside once again, so the count will be to Loher's advantage, 2-0. One-0 pitch. How he swung on by Loher and fouled off. Yes, thank you for the comment that we had earlier in the interview for Anthony Cassiolo. It was a great answer, just saying that he can go into his office at any time and just really speak to him about pitching and just baseball. He said that sometimes I'll just walk in to coach's office and just sit down and we'll just talk baseball for an hour, 2 hours, and that was a great resource for him to have at Charlotte.
Yeah, great to hear. Well, we're gonna have some more Copperheads and hopefully just some other players in general up here.
Yeah.
In the broadcast booth throughout the season, if not tonight. See if anybody wants to kind of pop their head in here during this game. But if not, we'll definitely have some more throughout the season. And if there's any players anybody wants to see specifically, let us know. Drop a comment down below or let us know on social media, because all these boys are willing to do it, and we'd love to get them up here because there's some great personalities down in that dugout on both sides.
Yeah. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. That one will be swung on, and they pop up in the infield. Aiden Rice will be calling for it, but the center fielder for the Kingsmen will call off everybody. Cam McNerney will record the third out. And the Copperheads stay at 1 run. So the lead stays 9-1. Kingsmen will be back here for some more SCBL baseball. And welcome back here as we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Copperheads. He is a mystery man, number 31. Not listed on our rosters, but
no idea who this man is. Hopefully we can try to get David to see who that is while he's down there taking some more pictures. I'm back on the call now.
Well, I have an idea. I think it could be. We were talking about it with Anthony Casiola that Grayson Barger is a new pitcher for the Copperheads, and that might be him, Grayson Barger. Barger wore 47 at Erskine College when he pitched there, and then No info what number he wore for College of Charleston in his club ball. As that one goes for a strike.
Who did he say?
So the mystery man will look for the sign, deliver. That swung on the right field. That ball is deep. Will that stay in?
It will.
Yes, it will. And a catch by Just Stewart and right. As the man that is in the game is Anthony Casiola over there. I bet his #1 fan, as he was saying earlier. Grayson Berger, the man who's had an incredible story. Just one of the Casiola's best friends in high school at Weddington High School, and then goes to play at Erskine College for 2 years. Then transfers to College of Charleston just to be a student there. Plays a little club ball and loves what he does. Loves playing club ball there. And then he picks up a baseball this summer. Throws 89, 90-mile-per-hour fastball and say, "Hey, I like baseball again." And decided to come out here and pitch for the Copperheads. As when I was talking to managers, Sean Stevens said, "Hey, we need more pitching depth, and Grayson Berger will contribute to that."
Of course he will, and Anthony's out there taking some film of his best friend, and David's now talking to him. I wonder what they're talking about down there. We'll have to ask him when he gets back in the box.
Yeah.
As that one goes on the outside corner for a ball.
Yeah, Anthony obviously very excited to see one of his best friends maybe pitch in person for the first time in a long time, maybe since their high school days, since, when they were pitching in college and stuff, both guys have, Anthony has his respective college season going on, and then Berger his season. And it'll be interesting to see because this will be the first true, let's say, quote-unquote, college competition that he's facing in a couple of years because he had that club year last year, so they're not, they're still college baseball players, but they're not at the level that we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know what Anthony's thinking, kind of. Just seeing his best friend pitch on the same team as him, and I don't know how long he said.
Yeah. Well, 2-2 count, 1 out in the inning.
Like I said, Anthony recording some film for him, taking the radar.
Anthony Sanders clocking out at 89-90. That's pretty solid. That's middle of the road, maybe a little more than some of these guys we've seen this year. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And Berger would just miss that one on the outside, and the count will run full. Up to the plate for the Kingsmen is number 21, Dalton Reeves. We're going to go. So go ahead, Reese.
Sorry, I mean, I was just going to put in the comment, like, nobody can be a Ben Joyce throwing 105.
Yeah.
But having a solid 90-mile-an-hour fastball,
as that
always
was lined through the gap and will get through and roll to the right fielder, Justice Stewart, just outside. Or excuse me, not to Justice Stewart, Ivan Zamborino. As that's just past Jackson Taylor and Zach Will. Yeah, 89-90, that's very respectable, especially for a guy that he was talking about. He never pitched in high school. So when he first arrived at Erskine College, he said, "Hey, I'm an outfielder." They say, "No, you're pitching for us." And that's what he did there. And now deciding to come to Lake Norman and rekindle his talent in the transfer portal right now. And if you're maybe a coach or a scout or know somebody that would love a great right-handed pitcher in the portal, make sure to check out his Twitter. I know he has his contact information there, his phone number, and what position he plays. Great GPA, somewhere in the 4 range. So anytime you're in the 4 with a GPA, you're in good shape.
Well, as a high school player in the outfield, and coming into pitch now, he went into college pitching. Just looking at his mechanics, you wouldn't tell that he'd never pitched a day in his life before he got into college.
Yeah, obviously a very raw product that the Erskine pitching coach had to deal with. It didn't have the success that he wanted, as Cassio was talking to us about, not the play time he wanted. So that's why he went to College of Charleston, thought about hanging up the cleats, and then now back out here against high-level competition is competing. He's not just throwing them in there, just like, "Hey, I'm going to throw you an EFIS and hope you miss it," right? He's throwing them, and he's throwing them fast.
I know. To me, it's shocking seeing like a position player coming in just raw out of high school.
Yeah.
And now pitching amazingly. His mechanics, you would think he's been pitching all his life.
Yeah, and Erskine College is no slouch of a Division II school to go to. They beat the last year's national champions this year, Wingate, and then they're in the same conference with Wingate, of course, Queens, who's moving up to Division I. They play them a lot. And then they're in the same conference as North Greenville, the eventual D2 national champions, as that one will be fouled off. And number 5 for the Kingsmen, Sawyer Reeves, just staying alive in this count. 3-1, 1 out of the inning. Top of the 6th. So still a little bit more baseball to be played. I know it's late, 10:46, maybe past some people's bedtimes on a weekend. It's, again, late up there.
And this game has been going on for you would have thought it's just like a regular game instead of like almost 2 innings less than what we usually play since it is game 2 of a doubleheader. And you would have to think some fatigue is setting in for some of these players.
Well, luckily, all these guys will have a day off tomorrow, and then they'll go up and that decently long bus ride up to Lynchburg as we see that one fouled off. So we'll try the 3-2 once again. As we see David down there getting some great pitchers for the man that's on the mound once again in high competition level. That one will be into right field. That ball will go foul, so the 3-2 count will stay. As you play club ball. Obviously, club ball is still competitive. You want to win, but it's not as level, obviously, as Division I baseball. It's not even more, close. But when you're talking about D2, D3, we see guys playing club baseball, maybe dominate at the club baseball level, and then coming here and pitching very well. And club baseball I think is a great thing for the game. That gives guys that still have a love for baseball. As we see that one missed low for ball 4. So club baseball, that gives guys that maybe would rather go to a bigger school like College of Charleston than staying at a school like Erskine. And, maybe pitching a little bit less. They just want to be part of a fun environment in their club, hang out with their buddies, play some baseball, just like they did in college. And they get the chance to do that, and not at a super high level, but still at a level that you're competing for, eventual there's a club baseball national champion, and there's conference championships, and you're still traveling across the East Coast to play teams. And see, that one is a swing and a miss for strike 1.
And that's I keep emphasizing this, but the beauty of college summer league baseball, especially, is that they're just out here having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for anything too big. It's just for some genuine fun. I mean, there are some big tournaments that they get to play in that do get a lot of scouts in other leagues, and it also gives players a chance to look at other players from maybe outside of their division.
Will that ball drop? It will. Miss Zamorino going to that one, and the runner at third will hold up. So we'll have bases loaded with 1 out of the inning. And I think when you think about college baseball, it's really the only college sport where you can say, hey, this guy's is a JUCO star, and he's going to go to there's massive JUCO stars out there, colleges like Chipola who, produce Jose Bautista, Russell Martin, Adam Duvall, endless amounts of great guys. And, you might have a JUCO star that can go play at LSU, Vandy the next season. You'll never see a guy in college baseball, college football go from an FCS school D2 to go play at Alabama or Georgia or Texas and compete with them next year. College baseball is one of the only sports where pretty much every school in the nation has a college baseball team. And there's such a vast amount of players from great schools and different schools across the country, even some schools up in Canada that are NCAA affiliated that play college baseball. And it's growing to be such a global game. And there's even guys playing over in Europe right now for their summer leagues, and we have obviously the mass growth of the game has over in Asia with Shohei Ohtani and the KBO in Korea and the Japanese league. As we see that one go for a strike, and then the Mexican League, one of the most entertaining leagues to watch. As we see, big name guys are playing in leagues all across the world. Yasiel Puig playing in Korea. We have Pablo Sandoval in Mexico, and baseball is just a lot more than just America. As some other sports playing at the college levels. That is a high pop towards the dugout for out 2, and the when we had the World Series and not the World Series, but the World Series with all the different nations we had. That's one of the most exciting tournaments to watch as a baseball fan. The finals hosted last time at Petco Park in San Diego. And just a lot of different Caribbean nations and nations around the world competing with the USA. Luckily, the USA ended out on top in that competition, but that's coming back soon, and I'm excited for that next summer.
Well, I mean, they say soccer is the most played sport throughout the world, but you can't think baseball is not up there too.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, you have guys from everywhere, especially like
Caribbean, Central America, and then you go over to Asia. Such a vast baseball scene over there, and then you go over to Europe. You don't have that many European guys in the MLB. The guys that are in the MLB from Europe are big name guys. Dieter Glorious from the Netherlands, Max Kepler from Germany. And it's definitely going to be growing in these next coming years. And, you know, some people say baseball is dying, but you just look at the TV numbers. There's more people watching the World Series than the NBA Finals, and that just speaks for itself. 1-0 pitch from Berger, and that will be outside for ball 2. Just a reminder, the bases are still loaded, so a high leverage situation here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-0 count, top of the 6th inning. Kingsmen up 9-1. As thank you for everybody that's tuning in to the first game and the second game tonight. Tuning in for whatever reason you are. Just maybe you are a grandparent or parent or a family relative of a player playing in this game tonight, or just a fan of baseball together and watching this game. And the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, and we do thank everybody who does watch these streams and everything. Really do appreciate it. Gives us a little job to do during the summer.
Yeah.
And it's baseball.
Yeah.
That's the best I can put it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for giving us, especially giving us the platform and the opportunity to broadcast to everybody who is listening.
Yeah.
And if there is anything that we can do to enhance the experience just keep in mind that we do have a limited staff up here. But anything to enhance the viewer experience and everything, please let us know. DM us, drop a comment into the stream chat. Just find a way to contact us through Instagram, Twitter, anything. We'll be
As
happy
that one
to
is
know.
popped up, close here to the press box, and we'll go off the pavement and onto the snack stand, so the count will stay at 2-2. So Barger trying to get out of this jam. Bases loaded, 2 outs, just 1 strike away from walking out of here unscathed.
The Kingsmen have had a lot of bases loaded opportunities in this game, and they have compromised on some and not on others.
And that one will be ball 4. So he walks the run in, and now the Kingsmen are in double digits, up 10-1. And that's something that really stood out to me in the first game, is Kingsmen had guys left on base, probably maybe not up to double digits, but probably 7-8 guys left on base that they didn't capitalize on, and they ended up scoring no runs here. But obviously, a much better offensive display here, up 10-1.
Obviously. And what a turnaround it has been for Kingsmen.
Yeah.
Going down, I believe it was.
And the throw over there by Schultz. Will he get him? He will. A great heads-up play from the Copperheads. Catcher Andrew Schultz fires it down over there to Jackson Taylor for out 3, and that gets Burgess out of a jam, only allowing 1. Stick with us for the bottom of the 6th inning where the Copperheads are down by 9, but we've seen them strike back quick and often. Stick with us. And welcome back here as we have a new pitcher on the mound. For Kingsmen, it's normally a center fielder, but trying his luck on the bump is Cam McNearney. McNearney from Birmingham Southern College, a junior out of Kennesaw, Georgia. And Kingsmen trying to save some arms before their showcase this upcoming week. So they'll throw him up on the mound with a 9-run advantage. Here comes the first pitch of his night. And he fired that one in there with some velocity right there.
He did. I'm shocked.
As if you didn't tell me that was Cam McNearney, I thought that was a normal pitcher on the mound for Kingsmen. But that one misses low for a ball. That one wants another ball, so the count goes to 2-0. So McNearney shakes one off, likes the second he gets. That one high, and the count goes to 3-0. McNearney needs to get his control into check here before he gets a runner on. But you have to imagine a very long leash with a 9-run advantage. You only have to get 6 more outs here tonight for Kingsmen. So if he can get through this with maybe only allowing 3-4 runs, that's still pretty good in retrospect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when a position player comes in, you always worry about, will they blow it for us?
Yeah.
How will they perform and everything? But, I mean, if he wants to pitch and he's going out there and he's throwing like that,
yeah.
I mean, he has good velocity.
Good
he just
velocity,
needs to work on his control. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. So a 9-run lead, so definitely, a lot to baseball to be played. McNearney, with a long leash, you have to imagine, from Joe Hudak. And that one go for a strike.
I kind of wonder if he's pitched before because he has great form.
Yeah, well, obviously, a lot of these guys were, a pitcher and a hitter in high school for their respective teams. Because if they're playing out here and they're playing college baseball, they have to be a pretty darn good college player as well. As that goes for a strike, and McNearney jumps back into this count 0-2 after walking a batter on 4 straight balls.
And I want to know what the mindset going in down 9 runs, walking up to the batter's box, and they decided to put a position player in. I wonder what's going through their minds. Is this going to be an easy inning where we can get driving a couple runs, make it
and he fires down to second, and he will get the runner out, as that was a lucky bounce off the backstop, as that padding at Cox Mill High School worked to his advantage. That as he had barely had to get up, that went right past him, bounced off the padding. So thank you very much. He barely had to move. That was like a ground ball right to him. Fired it down to second for the first out of the inning. Yeah, and and the count go to 1-2, and when you're a hitter, you're losing by this much, you're just thinking just get on base. Just get on base and see what happens, and hope your teammates can help you behind you. As the 1-2 pitch will be high, the count will run even 2-2.
I mean, I doubt any of them are wanting to go yard because you need base runners in order to get the lead back. I mean, you're down by 9 and just hitting a solo shot. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Now you're down by 8. I mean you need base runners, and just getting on base is so crucial at this moment.
So the count runs full. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from McNearney. And that one will barely miss outside. And number 18 and the Copperheads, number 18 will strut down to first base with the base on balls. And now number 26 for the Copperheads, Ivan Zamborino, will step in. Zamborino tonight playing right field and batting 5th. So Schultz takes his base. And Zamborino steps into the box with 1 out of the inning, 1 runner on. Sees that fastball on the outside part of the plate for a strike. And just an absolute dart right there. As we had a good crowd to start the night, as we've seen definitely a lot of people go home.
Well, I mean, we had a lot of kids in the crowd, so, kind of past their bedtime now.
Yeah.
Because it is now 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I think normally he'll be out, and he fires back down to first. Can he get him? He cannot. And I think normally I might be in bed watching some sports or something right now as it's starting to get late.
Yeah, I mean, I would be laying down. I would either be laying down or just watching something on TV on my couch at this point. But as Dave brings us some popcorn.
Yeah. So David bringing the snacks here in the press box.
We're gonna I would say we're going to need it, but
Game's almost done.
game's almost done. Well, not almost. I mean, it's baseball. There's no time limits. Who knows how long this inning will last?
We've seen innings that we thought were going to end very quick, and we've decided to stick around for maybe 30 extra minutes in that half inning.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big hack by Zamorino right there.
And I got to give a shout-out to the camera battery for lasting this long, as I've only changed it one time this game. So shout-out to my man, Battery.
And strike 3 from McNerney as the big 12-6 curve gets the batter right there. And that's the first breaking pitch we've seen all night from McNerney. And that absolutely fools the batter, Ivan Zamorino, as he's in shock after seeing that. And that'll be the second out of the inning. And now Jake Tanner, the shortstop, will step in with 2 outs in the inning and 1 runner on. Schultz staying over there at first.
I mean, this is not just a position player coming in.
This is
he's definitely pitched in his lifetime, and the coach should know.
As we see Schultz taking that base, sliding in, but no throw down. So he will gladly take the base, and now we have a runner in scoring position for the Copperheads.
There is some strategy to putting a position player in.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, you don't want to waste another arm. You have your showcase this upcoming week.
Well, especially
blowout.
With McNerney, he's obviously pitched before in his lifetime, so it's just knowing your players and knowing their strengths and weaknesses and just putting them out as a position player instead of wasting more arms. You know he's going to give you a good performance.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that if you're Joe Hudak in the back of your mind, you say, you ask these guys, hey, have you pitched before in your life? Yeah, and you have a guy like Cam McNerney come up to you and be like, yeah, I pitched all throughout my high school career. And that's a guy that say, hey, in a situation like this, up by 9, only have to get 6 outs when he came in, now only 4. And you can use him to your advantage as the 1-2 pitch comes in. That one is high, and the count will even up at 2-2. So McNerney steps back on the rubber. We'll look to get a sign. And he will get set. Schultz at second, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. As apparently that was only the second strike of the inning, as the scoreboard out in left center field. Confusing knee injuries altogether.
Well, I don't know what the count is because I'm kind of busy commentating and try to focus on this too. Let me get a run on the count.
And Schultz will go the throw down. And that will not be in time, as Burt Camper behind the plate can't get his second victim of the inning.
I believe it is a 3-1 count now. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
And now the count goes to 3-2 because that was a strike right there.
Yep, my fault. 3-2. Not 3-25. There we go.
So McNerney just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. Here comes the full count pitch. Swing and a miss. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Excuse me, not the first. Or excuse me, that'll be the second, not the third out of the inning. So I don't even have to change the scoreboard on the outs.
Yeah, again, my fault. I apologize for the sloppy scoreboard work right now.
Yeah, well. Apparently it is out 3. So you were right after all, Reese.
I was pretty sure I was right, but
I feel like the scoreboard fooled me, you, and everybody on the field.
Yeah.
And the Empire said, hey, that's out 3. Go ahead in, and we will have 1 more inning of baseball. Kingsmen will have 3 outs to play with, and Lake Norman will have 3 outs to get 9 runs. Crazier things have happened, so we'll see if any magic can go along at Cox Mill High School. Stick with us for the remainder of this baseball game. And welcome back here for the top of the 6th inning as we have David Cass rejoining the broadcast here, taking some more photos down at field level. And the first pitch of the inning will go for a ball. As Grayson Barger will come back on the mound for his second inning of work. That one on the outside part of the plate for a strike. So the count evens up at 1-1. That one fouled off behind the screen and into the abyss behind us, and Barger up in the count 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Barger. And a swing and a miss for the first out of the inning. Going down swinging right there was Burt Camper, the new Utah Valley man. Just transferred there the other day. So there goes the first out of the inning. And up next, for Kingsmen, is Zach Salfer. Excuse me, that was Justin Stewart that went down swinging, not Burt Camper. Both the single-digit numbers mix me up right there. So Salfer will step back in the DH spot in this game. Pitched in the first leg of the doubleheader as he watches that one go by for a ball. That one high and outside, and Barger down in the count 2-0. Have to fight back here and try to even it up against the 10-hole hitter. After Salfer, we'll have 1, 2, 3, McNerney, Middock, and Camper. As we just saw McNerney have 1 inning to work, throwing a scoreless bottom of the 6th inning. Three-0 pitch from Barger. That one swung on the center field, and that ball will get down. And a big applause from the Kingsmen dugout, as any time tonight Salfer has got on, it's been extra louder over there in that left hand at that left field batter's box than anybody else on the Kingsmen.
Good night of hitting continues.
Yeah. And now the current pitcher in the leadoff man for Kingsmen, Cam McNerney, steps in with 1 runner on. That one outside in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. So, David, if you're manager Sean Stevens, what can you walk away from the first game and the second game of this doubleheader going into that showcase this upcoming week?
Well, the first game I'm walking away with my team's ability to get out of tough situations, showing their adversity and how they respond to it, especially seeing Cassiola not having his best night on the mound but still able to come out with a scoreless game combined throughout the entire team.
Yeah.
5 scoreless from him, and then a few on the back end as well. So something I take out of that is the adversity and showing how this team can score runs. And this game to me doesn't – it feels like it's been dominant pitching. It feels like it's a bit of everything. It feels like it's a little bit of fatigue. It feels like the pitching on the other side was a lot better in game 2. And it just feels a little more deflated down there at the current moment. But one thing that I'm sitting there taking out of this game is knowing that these guys aren't on cloud 9 and that they still have a lot of work to do and that they still have a lot of work to get done, especially going into this showcase. So I think it's reassuring seeing Schultz get some more playing time. I think it's good to see some of these other guys get more playing time because these guys who are starting today may not necessarily be the number 1 guys on the team. And so if I'm manager Sean Stevens, that's what I'm kind of taking out of it, right? I'm taking that I'm getting to see more of what the guys who are out here today can do and more of what I can do with situational hitting with the main guys that I want to start. Yeah. So although they've only put up 1 so far, it's been good to see how they play in the field, especially a guy like you have on the mound here where he really hasn't done – I mean, he hasn't played college ball in a few years, and he's he's back out here throwing 85 as ends up walking one there.
Yeah, and you'll definitely take some takeaways from the second game, but also you want to say, hey, we're just going to move on to our 2 big games we have in the showcase and just trying to kind of forget about tonight in some aspects.
Yeah, exactly. You obviously there's always takeaways from every single game, right?
Yeah.
And the takeaway from this one is going to be that the bench guys have gotten more reps tonight. The guys who don't normally start have gotten more reps and they've given themselves a chance to prove what they can do. And so even though they haven't fully proved tonight, as there's a 9-run deficit right now, it still shows what they've been able to do. And it's also good to see a guy like Kyle Whitaker, who was playing hot earlier and continued his hot streak into this game as he had that ground rule double that scored the only run in the game. But it's good to get more reps. That's basically what it is. And it's the fact that the pitching has been good for the Kingsmen, but it's also been it's a deflating game when you go down so early, especially when one of your best pitchers just has an off night. You've been out here since 2 p.m. and the hot sun's been beating down on you, and it's very easy. I don't want to say to give up, but it's very easy to lose as much motivation as you had prior to that. So that was what was being tossed around in the dugout. It's like they were saying it's a lot of baseball to go. There's a lot more to play. There's a lot more time left in this game, and so trying to keep the morale and everything up. But I'm taking away, at the end of it, that my bench guys are getting more playing time, and I'm able to see more what they can do.
Yeah. And, you're trying to still fill out some of those positions, middle infield, third base, outfield, catcher. Pretty much, I think, in my opinion, every position is up for play, as we've seen a lot of different rotations, pitching-wise, and lineups from manager Sean Stevens. And Whitaker definitely one of the bright spots coming out of tonight with the home run earlier, last game, and the ground rule double today. He's just had a super hot bat so far.
There's been a lot of bright spots, and, well, I don't want to say that it's a good thing they're in this situation. It also gives somebody like our current pitcher here an ability to get some reps in without being in a high-pressure situation, feel what it's like to be back in with some real competitive baseball.
Yeah, because obviously club ball is competitive, but it's not nowhere where competitive where he was playing at Erskine College and then the level of competition that he's playing now in the SCBL.
Yep.
But he's done a reasonably very good job just coming back into baseball, as he has 2 runners on right now. Big pitch from here, and they'll look to turn 2. There goes 1. Can they get the second? As they will not be able to go get the runner, as the ball goes past the glove of the Copperheads first baseman Jackson Taylor. The runner decides not to advance home, so a fielder's choice right there, and 2 outs in the inning. And Barger has really impressed me with his control and his just calmness on the mound, as he's definitely showing some of those capabilities that he had coming out of high school in the brief stint he had pitching and now wanting to go back into college baseball.
Well, I was talking to Casiola down there, too, when he was down taking video for him in the previous inning. And, I mean, his slider's got some good movement on it. I mean, for the fact that he hasn't played in a while and he's still throwing mid-80s and he's got some good movement on his breaking pitches is really good. And it was one thing where the Kingsmen are just laying off of absolutely everything tonight unless it's right down the middle.
Yeah.
They have not chased anything outside the zone. And so pitches that Anthony was telling me that like really should be good pitches, as we see a single there that's going to score another run for the Kingsmen. Pitches that are very good pitches just aren't going or aren't being swung on just because of the mentality tonight. And it's really, really hard when you go out there and you feel like you're locating your spots very well, even if it's not directly in the plate. You're locating your spots pretty well, and nobody's swinging at them, and so it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. But at the same time, it's really good to get those reps to see what a team like this does, because I mean, when you play a team that is going to make you pitch to them, it can be really frustrating sometimes when you have a guy who hasn't played much.
Yeah, the big takeaway for the Kingsmen is in the first game they were getting guys on, but just weren't able to convert with runners in scoring positions and leaving a lot of guys on at the end of the innings. And then here they're converting, and they're having a great eye, just a very balanced approach, and being able to stay back on the baseball and convert when they have runners on, as right now they have a runner on first base and a runner on second base. So a 2-0 count for Barger. 2 outs in the inning, just trying to get that elusive third out right now. 2-0 pitch. And that will be fouled off. Back into where the cars are parked and the bus is behind us.
Surprised in all my time of watching baseball here at Cox Mill High School, I have not seen a window shattered yet.
Yeah? Good sign, though.
Good sign.
Hopefully, with your car being the only car on the outfield tonight, that's not the announcer's curse.
Somebody's got to hit a foul ball 400 feet to get to my window.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't be surprised with my luck.
Yeah. I mean, really, you only got to hit one maybe 350 and then bounce a couple times off the pavement.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
One or two good bounces.
I don't think that would. I maybe crack it. I don't think it'd shatter it, though.
Yeah.
You catch one on the fly, though.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it happen here, but I've seen it happen before, and, man, it can do some damage.
3-1 pitch. That ball is lined to the second baseman. He will corral it for out 3 in the inning. So Barger gets out of that jam, not after Kingsmen score 1. So the Copperheads down 10, only have 3 outs to work with to see if they can work a miracle here. We're in the middle of the 7th inning. Stay with us for the 7th inning stretch. And welcome back here to Cox Mill High School. Bottom of the 7th inning, Lake Norman trailing by 10. And we'll see if they can pull off a massive comeback like they tried to do against Statesville just one night ago.
Down by a few more in this one. Bottom of the 7th, Owen Wilson up to bat as he digs in from the right side. First pitch that he sees from McNearney is a ball outside, 1-0. Second pitch he sees flies foul ball over the screen. That'll be put out of play. Count now moves even at 1-1. Wilson was the starter yesterday on the hot corner for the Copperheads. Had himself a pair of hits in that outing. Looking to get one more at-bat before the midseason finale. The 1-1. Another foul ball over the first base side. A couple kids going to go running after that one, and the count now moves to 1-2. So the Copperheads down to their last 3 outs. It's been a very long 7th inning game, very lopsided in favor of the Kingsmen.
Very long game.
Kingsmen put up 2 in the first, 5 in the second. And ever since then, it's just been a couple runs after another as they've just kept adding on a few after another. It's so long I can't remember my words.
Yeah. McNerney doing a very impressive job, though, on the mound. Definitely see some experience and doing a great job filling in for the Kingsmen.
Absolutely, and you don't want to waste a good arm here in this type of a situation as well, as the Kingsmen still a few more games left to play for them after the conclusion of this one. The 2-2 from McNerney, swing and a miss on a fastball down low. Wilson is sat down on strikes, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th. Stepping in now is James Oman, the outfielder.
Pitch hitting for Lake Norman is number 2, James Oman.
As James Oman was pretty hot last night, had himself a pair of hits. As he'll dig in here. First pitch he sees from McNerney is high and up at the eyes, slips out of the glove of the catcher and heads all the way to the backstop. Camper couldn't hold on to that one. And they say it hits him, so I wonder if it clipped him on the visor or something like that, because that was right at his eye level. So either way, Oman will head down to first base. So the Copperheads do have a runner on here, as it is Zach Will who will dig in from the right side of the plate for the Copperheads. Will batting in the 9 spot on the roster. Kyrus Dawson in the on-deck circle. Fastball from McNerney misses outside. So Will leads the count 1-0. Infield shaded pretty regularly. Temperature now down to about 77 degrees here in Concord. Still pretty humid on a clear night as that fastball draws dirt off the glove, but stays outside of the zone. Quickly up 2-0 is Will. Down to their last 2 outs are the Copperheads. The delivery from McNerney, and that's a foul ball into the Copperheads dugout. Looked like that was knocked down by Xavier Baker as he tried to barehand that, and foul ball off of the catcher, and he is down. We hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's just a scary play anytime a foul ball comes back and hits the catcher just so close. No time to react to the baseball.
No.
Hopefully he can get up quick.
And I was focused on the foul ball. I didn't even see him go down at first, and so.
And we will take a short break to let him recover, and we'll be back here in a second. Hopefully he is okay, and we'll be able to stay in this ball game. And it looks like Burt Campbell will be able to stay into this ball game. Just a scary time anything a foul ball comes back and hits the catcher, stay down the ground, but we're able to continue in this ball game.
Big swing and a miss from Zach Will as McNerney gets things rolling again, and the count will move even at 2-2. Yeah, it looked like it might have just caught Camper in a not so pleasant area. It took a second to kind of catch his breath again, but back up and looking good as Will fouls that one off the screen down the first base line, fighting to stay alive. So the Copperheads will have an off day tomorrow before traveling to Lynchburg, Virginia, and playing in the showcase games up there. They'll have one game on Monday and another on Tuesday, as that's a beautiful breaking pitch that rings up Will, froze him in the box, and Copperheads are now down to their last out. The center fielder, Kyrus Dawson, readies and steps in for the Copperheads.
Just a great breaking pitch right there. Righty on righty matchup, just having that slide across all the way to the zone and outside part of the plate, and plays perfectly. Can't do it much better than that.
First pitch Dawson sees is a grounder back to the pitcher. McNearney flips it, and that will do it here from Cox Mill High School. The Kingsmen take game 2 as the Copperheads and the Kingsmen split the doubleheader, so they stay tied atop the SCBL standings, both now sitting at 8-5. We will see how the Spinners game develops from here. However, as of right now, these are your 2 top teams in the Southern Collegiate Baseball League. We thank you for joining us here for these doubleheader games, as it has been a great night of baseball here from Cox Mill High School. For myself, Zane, and Reese, we thank you for joining us here, and we will see you again soon from Cox Mill High School here on the SCBL YouTube channel.
Thank you, everybody, for joining.